Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast
what?
podcast.
And that's me or...
What's that, James? Oh, it looks like we're so welcome to the podcast. We're having some technical issues off from the get-go.
Are you having a...
So for those, again, welcome to the podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight is session 6 of our ongoing 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons role campaign. We are playing a modified version of the Scales of War adventure path that was originally published in the electronic version of Dungeon Magazine back in the mid-aughts. With me tonight are some of our regular players, and then joining us in the course as the evening goes on are some additional players. But with us to start with, I'll go the order that you guys logged in, if I remember this correctly. Starting off with Steve O, tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hello, I'm Steve, and I'm playing Nutai Lethalis. He is an elvish thief and ne'er-do-well.
Love it. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey, everybody. I'm playing Oberon Bloodhoof. He is a ardent Minotaur.
Nice. And Ardent is a psychic leader class from the Player's Handbook 3, if you're not familiar with, or if that class sounds unfamiliar. It does not appear in any previous version of D&D and does not appear in the subsequent version either. So just filling kind of a niche spot for us. And then last but certainly not least is James.
I'm playing Ember. She is a tiefling pyromancer. And yeah, out of the Essentials line.
Nice, nice. Okay, so let's, guys, stick around with our cameras here and get ourselves over to Roll20. So I'm going to get with the sharing of screens here. Applications. And just a reminder, too, we have been having problems with Roll20 on Google, on Chrome. So I prefer if you use Firefox, if available, because it doesn't seem to be any problems with Firefox. Okay. Let's see here. What is this? Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? Present to everyone. Beautiful. Okay. And then I'm going to turn my camera off in Google+. Not microphone. Turn camera off. And then I'll refresh Roll20, and hopefully we shall see my smiling face. Let's see. Bingo. Nice. So that's working.
Oh.
Hey, Jeffrey, you got yours working?
Worked.
Nice.
Fix my hair.
Okay, and Steve, we are never going to succeed with getting your camera to work in Roll20.
I don't think so.
But James, we have got yours working before. Do you want to try turning your camera off in the call and then refreshing Roll20? Oh, the one thing is, James, you don't want to mute yourself on the Roll20 call or on the Google Plus call. If you mute yourself, we can't hear you. So just turning the camera off is what you want to do, not mute. I'm just waiting for James to come back on, for his audio to come back in. Oop, we lost James altogether from Roll20, or from the Google Plus call. Is he gone from Roll20 as well?
No.
No, still there. Okay. So let's wait for him to come back on. I'm going to make sure that my yep, that's right. Okay. I will send James another invite to make sure. Call. Okay. So what? While we're waiting for James to come back onto the call, let's talk about what happened last session. Because I think both of you guys were here. What do you recall from last session?
Well, we we kind of saved the village, and then we found out that the goblins had captured a bunch of people. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. You guys had bravely fought off not only a ogre that had been strapped to a wagon full of oily casks or casks of oil. You also managed to fight your way through a gauntlet of hobgoblins to save this who turned out a woman who turned out to be married to one of the counselors on the town council. Following this, you were approached by a guy named Ephraim Troyus, who was a half-elf, who was a member of the town council, who apparently has had for a while a bit of a pet project to hire adventurers or mercenaries to deal with this growing threat of this horde of the Red Hand. As you said, Jeff, it seems like there were a number of people who were taken from taken by the hobgoblin raiders, as well as a number of heirloom items that were stored in the town hall that all related to the previous horde of the Red Hand that had bedeviled the Elsyr Vale about 20 years ago. Oh, it looks like we've got... So, James, can you hear us again now?
Nope. Here we go. The camera on.
Was I can hear your... okay, your camera is working in Roll20, James. And, hey, there's Dave, too.
Hey, Gav. Hey, James. Hey, Jeff.
Hello.
Whoever else is on.
Hey, Dave.
And James, go ahead and talk. We could hear you a moment ago.
Yeah, I stopped talking for a second. No, I couldn't get my camera to work on Firefox, so I had to fiddle with it.
Okay, got it. Great. So yeah, we've got your camera it's frozen on Roll20, but at least we see half of your face. You're very mysterious, James. And we do see Dave. Your camera's working just fine. That's great.
Okay.
I think I might move my camera over a little bit though, just because I guess I move myself over. How about don't be lazy, Kev? Okay, so Dave, we were just doing a quick recap. Are you at your place or at Brent's place?
Brent.
Okay, cool. So Brent will be down shortly. Great. So we're just missing Cork, and then we're going to have a full house tonight.
Nice.
That makes me very happy. So while we wait for Corey and well, we're not going to wait for Corey or for Brent. We're going to get things going. I do want to mention as well too so I have mentioned in a couple of my other videos, in particular the plan for the year, that we have set a date for our annual gaming marathon, and that will be on June 9th. So Dave, I don't think I mentioned to you yet. I'm going to send an email to you guys this weekend, but June 9th is when I'll be in the PEG, and my plan is to have the marathon on that Saturday as usual. And as a special surprise, it looks like Steve and Corey actually might be able to join us as well. So
No way. That'll be awesome.
that would be great. So we would have with all of the people who are playing in our D&D campaign plus Jaden, we may have 7 players in person for our marathon, which would be fucking great.
I disagree. That's too many.
There's only too much fun. No, you're right though, James. Like I still don't. I always use my the gaming marathons as an opportunity to run something I don't normally run. But I'm making that is one factor that is weighing very heavily is what kind of what game can I run that will give a satisfying done in one kind of day of play, but will move along at a good enough clip that we're not like all right, we did 16 hours and we got through 3 combats. Awesome. So anyway, as I was saying, You guys were hired. Now, I sent you guys an email with the names of the people who were taken. Does someone have access to that and would like to read out who those kidnapped citizens are?
Sure, I have it open. So the people that are missing are Jalissa, a female acolyte of Loon.
Oh, that's right. It's an I. It's Ayun.
Oh, Ayun.
Mm-hmm.
Svetoslav, a male Castellan of the Hall of Great Valor. He is in his late 40s. Tomislav, who is an 8-year-old son of the Brindol captain of the guard. Ritala, a cook working for one of Brindol's wealthy families. She's in her early 30s. Sarixa, an old widow who is the town gossip, rumored to know some folk magic. She is in her 70s. Adric Ungart, a male dwarven alchemist in his 150s. Joranna Ungart, a female dwarf married to Adric in her 140s. And finally, Casimir, the male captain of the guard in his late 30s.
Yes. So, there were also five relics or heirlooms that were taken from the town hall. In the town hall, there is a section that is known as the Hall of Great Valor, and that's where
there is broadcasting.
That one.
And it's plugged in?
Yeah, Brent, we can hear you.
Okay, you guys are breaking up.
Then I'm going to take a guess and say it's your internet connection. Are you guys plugged in?
Yeah.
One
of these computers are.
Yeah.
That one?
That's only on Wi-Fi. I can't. I mean, I can. Yeah, there's no hard connection on
for that one. And this one, you can't open Google.
Yeah, I can't do.
Okay, we'll keep going as is. We'll just use Laura's computer. I'll grab that in a second.
Okay.
While you guys do the round recap, I'll
sure.
go grab that.
Okay. As I said, there were also heirlooms that were relics, basically, that from the previous assault of the Red Horde, or Horde of the Red. I shouldn't Red Horde. The Horde of the Red Hand that attacked Brindol and other parts of the Elsevier Vale about 2 decades ago. Those things included, and I'll quickly rattle through the list here, that you've been told there's an ornate gilded dragon crest helm. There is a platinum greatsword. There's a set of 3 shields with the old Red Hand insignia, and each of those shields has a charred hole near the center. There is a set of iron gauntlets with extensive filigree inside, and then finally a heraldic battle standard depicting 2 hands clasped in a handshake. That, of course, is the sigil from the adventurers who defeated the previous Horde of the Red Hand. So, you guys have been hired to travel into the Giantshield Mountains, and maybe to give context here, let me just swap over very quickly to the Elsevier Vale map. Here we are. So, you guys are in Brindol. Oopsies. Doesn't scroll that way to me. Which is right in the middle of the screen here, where I'm pinging. And you successfully interrogated a hobgoblin captive, someone who was taken captive by the town guard and who will be standing trial for the attack and for the actions that both he and his compatriots committed while they were raiding the town. He told you that the Horde of the Red Hand, under the leadership of Sinrith, this sinister hobgoblin mastermind, that they are hidden out in an estate called Rivenroar, which is located in the foothills of the Giantshield Mountains, somewhere kind of equidistant between Witchcross and Red Rock. Now, do you guys remember what is significant about Rivenroar?
It was where the original, I don't remember, fight happened between the...
No. The last attack of the Red Horde of the Red Hand was about 20 years ago and the Rivenroar is the ancestral home of a family known as the Villicus family. And the Villicus are notorious because they were the family that betrayed the last king of Rest. Remember that 200 years ago is when the kingdom of Restalor collapsed. And you can see up where I'm pinging right now, that is the ruins of Rest. Now effectively swallowed by the Black Fens and part of the swamp. Rest was beset by both magical plagues and a goblinoid horde. It is unfortunately a persisting problem in the Alcir Vale. Because they thought there would be power behind it and whatnot, the Villicus family threw their lot in with the horde and betrayed the kingdom. Fortunately, the kingdom was able to fight them off, but it left the kingdom so weakened that they were unable to really survive or deal with the magical plague, and the kingdom collapsed. The Villicus family did not have any time to enjoy the fruits of their betrayal, because there was an army of other nobles, some coming from Naimon Gap, who marched on Rivenroar and put it to the torch. Let's see here. The rumors that Ember was able to share with the rest of you guys too. You remember being in Naimon Gap and seeing those wood carvings on the walls of that one inn or the one tavern? Mm-hmm. That was where you had told them that basically the Villicus family was said to have been in league with necromancers as well too. They were said to have dabbled in that forbidden school of magics. So it was not really seen as a terrible surprise to the rest of the inhabitants of the Alcir Vale when they showed their true colors and betrayed their liege lords. Now, the last king, or the last patriarch of the family at Rivenroar was Lord Simon Villicus. And you may recall that the hobgoblin you were interrogating said that Simon Villicus has thrown his lot in with the Horde of the Red Hand, which means that you guys are going to travel to a estate that is purported to have been abandoned and in ruins for over 200 years, which may include the undead survivors of a family whose betrayal led to the downfall of a kingdom, and a newly forged hobgoblin alliance that looks to put the rest of the Alcir Vale to torch. So, what one bit of information that we didn't get out of the last session was that while the entire Red Horde is sort of staying in the regions around the ruins of Rivenroar, the Sinrith and the captives and whatnot, and all the treasures and stuff are located in the crypts. When the other noble families marched on Rivenroar 200 years ago, they put basically most of it to the torch, so there's not really much left surviving above ground. The crypts, however, did survive, and that's where you will find you're likely to find the captives. So, so does that make sense, guys? I know it's been almost a month since we played last, but does that bring you up to speed as to what where we are and what we're doing?
I think so.
Yep, I think so.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Pretty much. You're going to turn on everyone else, aren't you, Rakus? So we're fighting. Yeah. So as is, let me think here. I think that all of you guys were here last session, apart from Halen. So the scene will open for the day before, leading up to the day before you're going to be setting out for Rivenroar. You may recall that you met with Councillor Troyus and the other members of the Brindol Town Council the morning after the attack on Brindol, the attack by the Horde of the Red Hand. Brent, are you there now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So yeah, Brent. Unfortunately, I guess as a little context for folks at home too, Brent has been talking about wanting to play through the siege of a town in a role-playing game for about 5 or 6 years now, and unfortunately, he's missed one of the first opportunity that has come up in one of my campaigns where that's actually happening. So Halen appears, and as a bit of meta context or metagame context, he's quite disappointed that he's missed all that fun. So the rest of you guys
I come out because the last thing Halen saw before he came out was a goblin in a wagon or a chariot.
no, the last thing you saw was a ogre lashed to a wagon.
That was it. So I come back in fighting form and everything's calm.
Okay, so it was evening when you had your last recollection. We'll say that you guys are back at the Broken Banner. That was the tavern that you guys were visiting, and you guys are sort of discussing what you want to get done with your day, and that's when you have that same familiar butterflies in your stomach moment. And Ember, you sort of excitedly sort of look around to see if it is Xavier who has returned. And while you're not disappointed, I mean, obviously you have a different relationship with Xavier than you do with Halen. But Halen, you reappear. Now, Halen, one of the things you notice as you're you're looking around is obviously you're not in the same place. You were in the streets of Brindol at night when you had your last recollection. But one of the other things that you see is there is another member of your party who is here, another elf. Steve, why don't you tell us what Nute looks like?
He's sort of a 6 foot tall, kind of sandy blondish, kind of, but fairly nondescript elf who flies under the radar. He wears a green cloak and a brown tunic, and keeps himself wrapped up. But if he unwraps himself, you can see that he's got sort of a number of daggers sort of stashed about his body, and he seems like he's knows how to handle himself.
Okay. So for a brief moment, Halen, you think, well, who the hell is? And then it all sort of comes flooding back, and you realize that this is Nute. Like you've known Nute for years now. Nute was one of the colleagues, or one of your companions, who was with you when that incident happened, where that ancient, weird gate malfunctioned and led to the current magical curse that you guys are all dealing with, and it led to the death of 2 of the members of the Elseer Consortium. And you can't believe that you've forgotten Nute.
He's got one of those faces.
What do you say?
Right. I like to be forgotten.
Hey, it's been a while.
Yes, that's right, old friend. Nice to see you.
What brings you to these parts?
Oh,
Brent, he didn't, just so you understand what I'm saying here, it's not that he's been off doing his own thing. He's been in that void that you guys all disappeared.
Oh, for that long of time.
Yeah, for that entire, so all during all that time.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, you'd forgotten about him altogether.
Welcome back.
Yes, I've been lost and wandering in the no man's land.
Okay, so you guys have Halen, you're brought up to speed as to what's going on. Tomorrow morning, you guys will all be setting off again to travel northward to go to try and follow this goblin horde that attacked the city, and track them to this ruin called Rivenroar. And the plan is to rescue this, whatever it is, 8 people, and try and recover those the relics. You guys have, incidentally, you can feel free to go to your equipment page, guys, and each of you add a healing potion. So you all have a healing potion now, and
we add it.
You're going to have an opportunity to refresh. So everybody, refresh your healing surges. Put your healing surges back up. Your current healing surges back up to the maximum. Barring any kind of catastrophic role-playing error here, I don't anticipate there's going to be a combat encounter today. But the council has, I believe, do you guys remember what the dollar value was that you were offered?
I think it was like 200 gold.
Or the gold? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so I think it's 200 gold. 200 gold now and 200 gold when you return. Does that sound right?
Yeah, 400 gold for the return.
Okay. So yeah, and this is based on your incredible. Oh, is that your embarkation roll there, Jeff? Or is that someone else rolling?
No, that's Dave.
Oh, okay. Dave's just randomly rolling stuff. Okay, so what is there anything you guys want to do during the day, guys, or should we skip to the next day? What do you think?
I don't think I have anything.
No.
I'm just happy to be back.
Okay. Halen, as you make your way, if you do take some time to go around through the city, you can see that there are, at least in the area that is sort of around the what do you call it? The market square, where I'm picking there. It seems like what happened is they spilled across the bridge, and then basically raised from around where number 5 is on the map up to about 18. So the sort of straight line through there. That was all the focus of their attack. It's as if they knew precisely what they were going for.
Did we discover how they bypassed the defenses to get into the town proper?
They killed the guards.
Well, that would work.
Yeah, that would work. It appears that the I'm trying to think here. I think that anybody who has any military experience, let's think here. Does anyone have any military experience? I'm not even sure.
No,
I don't think so. So, sorry, Brent, I can't understand what you're saying.
Halen would have fought like skirmishes with his tribe, but nothing like involving a city.
Yeah, it would be a different. Well, you know what, Brent? Yeah, that sounds good enough to me. Why don't you make an intelligence check for me, please, and Ember, make a history check for me, please.
Okay.
And Brent, yours. Are you trained in any intelligence skills?
Just checking.
So that'll be an easier way to go about it. Let's see,
No.
Halen. Yeah, I don't think you are. So why don't you just give me a history check, Brent? We'll add +5 to it.
Ooh.
Oh, shit, that's a way to open the day.
Yep. That's a good roll of the day.
Halen's, it's not a reflective of you not knowing. It's just that it's just that you weren't exposed to this thing. So Ember, you know again that hobgoblins, unlike say goblins or orcs try to win. Like when an orc horde hits a city or hits a stronghold or something like that, it hits with the force of a tsunami, in the sense that it is unguided. It is just sheer fury and force and numbers that try to overwhelm the defenses. Hobgoblins are a much smarter and more tactical opponent, as evidenced as you saw fighting them for the kind of phalanx techniques that they use. They are good at crafting weapons. They are good at strategy and tactics. So both, the broader term, or broader, I guess term, longer term goals for a military objective, and for the short-term implementation of small unit tactics, both of which I guess are evidenced by this raid. They clearly went in with a specific goal in mind, and they executed it with with precision actions. Does anyone else have anything that you wish to do during the day? I think you guys have already engaged in commerce and stuff like that, but oh, and also your dailies will recover as well. So if you got any encounter or any dailies that have yet to recharge, you can go ahead and untick those.
Good, because I was really annoyed that I wasted my dailies at the very beginning of it.
Okay, so I'll go through. So I've heard from Jeff. I've heard from James. I've heard from Steve, I think. Brent and Dave, is there anything that either Rakis or Halen wants to do?
No.
Oh, sorry, Dave. You guys are going to have to, because you're using the same mic. Remember that you guys need to lean in.
Yeah, I mean, Rakis himself has also just appeared after having missed most of the last combat. Actually, all of the last combat.
Did he?
Yep.
Our last session was on December 15th. We haven't played since then. I thought that he was, I know he was there for the interrogation. I think he was there for the whole combat. The whole fight through Brindol?
Uh,
Like, I think 2 sessions ago he missed it.
Jeff, did you miss last session?
No, he was here because he was.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah, because he was. Remember that Rakis was there when he fought the ogre with the big oil cask, and then Rakis was there when you fought your way through the.
Oh yeah, that was
gauntlet.
okay.
Yeah, that's the last thing that's happened. We just haven't played since then.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Christmas and fucking cold got in the way.
Still getting in the way.
Yeah, no, I guess nothing that that Rakis can think of.
Okay.
He's ready to get crushes.
Sounds great. Okay, so you guys will have a chance to talk about strategy as well too, but we can deal with that in sort of a flashback kind of way. I've mentioned this before, guys, but like because we were assuming that your characters are, capable, hero scale adventurers, that they will know things better than we will. I would sooner just deal with the planning part of our campaign as flashbacks than to have to be like, okay, tell me how you're going to infiltrate this thing and blah blah blah, because that's just that's boring, and those kind of plans never survive the contact with the enemy. So if you do have any sort of broad strategies, I guess here's some things to consider. Is that there is a long journey. This is going to be a tough journey up to Rivenroar because no one's gone up there for 200 years. You want to consider that, again, the hobgoblins are a much craftier and cannier opponent than what, like, say, goblins or orcs are. So you'll want to make sure you treat them with the appropriate level of, I guess, like, respect, as it were, for what sort of rear guard they may have. And there's probably a fucking lot of them. So you will want to consider how you're going to get yourself into Rivenroar without having to fight your way through hundreds of hobgoblins. Okay? So if anyone has any immediate thoughts about that, we can, have that be part of the sort of road chatter or the chatter in the inn before you guys set out. But anyway, okay, so with that in mind, then, as you guys are setting out the next morning, we'll cut to the next morning. You guys get a good night's sleep. The next morning, you guys get up, and what you find is you're a little surprised because it appears that there is a bit of a crowd. As you step out of the broken banner, because I think you're probably just crashing there rather than getting an inn. You guys drove out the hobgoblins that tried to attack that place and tried to burn it down. So Walter, the owner, was quite grateful and was quite happy to put you guys up and provide you with plenty of good food and drink to get get yourself sleepy. You leave the broken banner, and what you find is that there's a small crowd of people who have gathered to sort of see you off. Apparently, word has gotten around that the town council is sending out people to, or sending you guys out to try and rescue the other townsfolk. So how do you guys react to them? The crowd's probably about like maybe 30, 35 people.
Rax is loving it. Yeah, he is. He's pumping his fists in the air.
Roll for peacocking.
He's totally playing the hero's role.
Yeah. Okay. So does he try and talk to any of the gathered crowd as well, or is he just sort of trying to keep a distance but cut an impressive figure?
No, he's working the crowd, not necessarily talking to them, but clapping shoulders and giving out high fives to little kids.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So once the bravest, you can sort of picture there's a crowd of kids, and you put your giant fucking hand up to it, and most of the kids are too scared to really advance. But then there's one brave little girl kind of steps forward and whack hits your hand, and once that happens, then the rest of them sort of realize it's okay to do it too, and they all jump in, and you're getting lots of high fives. What about the rest of you guys?
Nutai does the opposite and just sort of tries to lurk in the background and sort of steal his base.
He stabs a kid and steals her toys.
Exactly.
Okay, so sorry, Steve. I stepped on your narrative there. So yeah, you draw your cloak up. You keep as inconspicuous as you can. What about Halen, Oberon, and Ember?
Halen is bemused, but not necessarily engaging with a crowd.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the crowd itself, and then more so.
I need you to. Sorry, Brian. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just need you to remember to lean forward and then start talking, because I missed the first part of that.
Okay, yeah, I'm just sort of bemused with the crowd and also Rakis's behavior more so than the crowd, probably.
Okay. Oberon, the kind of palpable impression that you're getting from the crowd is a mixture of sorrow and cautious optimism. So it feels very brittle, I think.
I guess he's not enjoying it as much as he thought he would have been at this point.
Yeah, because this isn't like a triumphant or triumphal march. This is seeing off the last best hope they have for seeing their loved ones again. And for some of them, for seeing a measure of vengeance enacted on the perpetrators of this attack. I did have a very brief thing too that I wanted to, or a little very brief scene that I wanted to enter in. So Halen, remember that you purchased that that unusual crystal from that guy in town?
Yes.
Along with the strange, him and his very strange wife.
Right.
So I think you had that described to you as being sort of a crystallized memory, right? And that there was a psionic power that can be unleashed from that, or a power of the mind that can be unleashed from that to basically, like, mechanically, you would be able to use this one attack in there, but you would also experience some kind of connection with the author or the creator of that power. So it'd be a way of like bridging minds across time. And the markings on the crystal were in the same language that your order speaks. That right. So what you do is there's a brief moment when you're packing your stuff up and you're trying to figure where you're going to place that crystal, because your potions and whatever else too, you want to have it secure. You want to have it in an area that you can access quickly. So you can kind of picture that everyone else is sort of mulling around in the room, and you're, you pick up this crystal, and there's a very, very brief moment where your mind drifts, and you can smell the very distinct, clear mountain air. Not of your home necessarily, but that bracingly cold and clean smell that you only get from very, very high up.
Huh. I'll try and focus on it.
Sure. Why don't you give me an Arcana check for me, please? Are you trained in Arcana? No, you're not at all.
No.
Okay, so you know, Brent, I will because of your class, though, I will give you a proficiency bonus with it. So add +5 to the roll. Okay, so 13. Hold on here. You're going to get some information. It depends on what cost will come with that. Here you go. Okay, yep. Okay, so as you sort of stop and focus, you get a brief sensation of it looks like what's weird, it reminds you in some ways of the structures, the permanent structures that your tribe would build. But it's kind of like the architectural equivalent of hearing a familiar song, but in a different language, where the fundamentals are there, where you could recognize the same sort of design cues and so forth, but it's clearly very different. It's a different people who built this thing. And you're looking out from a vantage point, fairly, it looks like it's maybe like a balcony attached to part of this thing. And this structure is built right into the side of a mountain peak. And then you hear someone say something. One second. Wrong character. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of the language, guys. Old Tongue. You hear someone say something in Old Tongue, and you haven't heard Old Tongue spoken probably since you last left your tribe for that warrior's pilgrimage. And they say the portal is active, and your frame of view begins turning, and then someone asks you, one of your traveling companions, say, "Look, are you going to pack that thing, or are you going to carry it?" And it's probably Rackus, actually, because he wants to get your butt moving. But that's the sensation you get.
I'll try and refocus, see if I can latch onto it again.
Whatever thing that you were connecting with, if you can think of it like there was probably an initial something you did that unintentionally connected with the psychic energies or the mental energies that were contained within the crystal, and then your effort to try and focus was just kind of burrowing down through that connection. But when Rackus interrupted you, you lost that initial connection, and you're not sure how you did that before.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. But it's like an echo of a personality that dwells within this thing. So, anyway, I'm not sure if you want to share that with Oberon or with anyone else, but or just keep that to yourself.
I'll just keep it to myself for now.
Sure.
So I know more about what it was. Or
that's fantastic. Now, when the doom comes, we know who to blame. I mean, of course, no.
Once you find the portal, be like, oh, that's the portal for my dreams.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So then if there's nothing else that you guys want to do in town, then why don't we ask your guide?
Who's our guide?
Oberon. To make, would you kindly roll a D8, and let's check what circumstances are like for the embarkation roll.
Here we go.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay, so what we rolled. Okay, and just for those listening at home, if this is the first time you're joining us for this campaign, we are using modified versions of the travel rules from the Adventures in Middle Earth guide to sort of make him a bit more interesting, or an interesting mini game of overland travel in this. So what you rolled was the wearisome toil of many leagues. The company finds that the maps that they consulted were poor, inaccurate, or out of date, or the path they find themselves upon is beset with obstacles, dead ends, and difficult terrain, making the going harder than it should be. Throughout the journey, terrain types are classed as one grade harder to traverse.
Gross.
Which is gross in particular because you guys are going into the fucking foothills. So it's not as bad as scaling mountain peaks, but it certainly is no fucking walk in the park. So let's switch over to the Elsevier Vale map, guys, and talk about where you're going. So the foothills of the Giantshield Mountains are not. These are an older and more worn set of mountains than what the Worm's Teeth are. Or Wormsmoke, I should say. The Wormsmoke are, you may remember, were a very unpleasant sort of venue to travel through. And unfortunately, you're not able to, or you're not having to actually, go fairly deep into the Giantshield Mountains. But the foothills themselves are quite imposing. You do, I guess, get some assistance from the folks in Brindol with the maps, but you're sort of cursing yourself and wishing that you had explored this further when you were in Nymon Gap, because Nymon Gap has a more has a connection with the Kingdom of Restalor. They were one of the baronies that was one of the last sort of noble families left over from that period. They probably had better maps. Brindle, unfortunately, does not really, and you find yourself after a day or so, or even like a couple of hours out, you find that these are probably 300 or 350 years out of date, which means that these were wrong when Rivenroar fell in the first place. So you are also finding that the trail that you're going to be following does not follow really any specific path. It is very hard tromping through, overgrowth or through forests or whatnot. So there's a lot of bushwhacking, which is just a really exhausting process to have to go through. So the first thing I'd like you guys to do for me is, as you're setting your way out, is I do need an endurance check from everybody, please. Now, before you make your roll, remember that what you can do is take a penalty to your roll to add to someone else's. So if you're really awesome at endurance, you want to try and help out one of your feebler companions, you can do that. Also remember that I believe Oberon... Oh no, Ember. Nat 1. Oh, shit. Okay, so...
Ember.
Oh.
Ember already rolled.
Yeah, Ember already rolled. And a nat 1 is a nat 1 is a nat 1. Oberon, I believe you grant a +2 to endurance checks, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Everyone or just a select person?
Yeah.
So what was that question, Brad?
Does he grant the endurance bonus to everyone or to a select person?
No, to everybody. His endurance bonus is kind of like your perception bonus.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. We got... All right, Ember's got a critical failure. Oof. Nute. That's not great. So Halen, Rackus, and Oberon, I need endurance checks from you guys, please, too.
Rackus will I guess donate his bonus to Halen.
To Halen?
Yeah.
Okay, so how much of a bonus? Take -2.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Brent, you got a +2 to yours as well as the +2 from Oberon. And so Oberon, boy. Oh no. Oh man.
So I got like a total of a 12 then?
Yes, you did. Yeah. So shit, guys.
We turn around and go back to the village.
Yeah, seriously.
Get a good breakfast and spend the weekend.
We're like, there's too many bad omens. Something is wrong.
So you guys set out, and you very quickly find that the way that you're traveling, because you're not able to follow the road that say like runs up towards Witchcross, because you don't want to lose the trail for this. It is fucking hard going, and the result of that is that every single one of you gains a level of exhaustion. What that means is that you all suffer -2 to your skill checks. Yeah, so you'll be arriving not to your attack rolls or anything like that, but just for your skill checks. The first couple of days are very unpleasant. The rain that has been sort of hounding you from the time that you guys left Drellin's Ferry has, for the most part, passed, but you're still seeing probably showers in maybe like the evening and the early morning. As you get closer to the giant shields too, I think there's a different the ambient temperature probably goes down a bit as well. So all in all, it just makes for an extremely unpleasant experience. There's also a stretch. Yeah, go ahead, Brent.
I was going to say, as we're getting closer to our destination, as the weather improves a little bit, Halen will use Create Campsite to give us a more comfortable evening.
Okay. The way that the Create Campsite, like that has a specific effect on the overall like sub game. It doesn't go on, you're not using them on an instantial basis. Does that make sense? Right, yeah, because remember that
you kind of faded for a second.
Do you guys have us plugged in?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know why that's happened then. No, but remember that all those rituals, they have a specific mechanical benefit in the travel sub rules.
Right.
So it's assumed that you're trying to make use of that to try and make things better. So let me see. Actually, I sent you an email with that, didn't I?
Yeah, I've got to. Yeah, I don't have it offhand. I got to dig it up. I know where it is.
Give me a sec here. I'm just pulling it up right now. Okay, so here we go. Create Campsite grants +1 to the party's endurance checks made during the journey, and allows heroes to regain 1 healing surge when they complete a short rest while on a journey. Excuse me. So that's pretty fucking handy, Brent.
I apologize.
So
I had to go pee.
Hey, no problem. Unfortunately, because you guys all rolled pretty poorly.
We get hit by a blizzard?
You're not hit by a blizzard, but oh shit, yeah, I forgot you got a nat failure there. Ember, you've actually got 2 levels of exhaustion, which means that you are currently, your speed is halved. So what happens is, as you guys are making your way along, Brent, your Create Campsite thing is you're doing that, and it's making things a little bit easier for people, but unfortunately, because of the terrible fucking directions that you got when you left Brindol, because of the embarkation roll, so you guys know mechanically, you're rolling against a hard target number, and none of you guys made it. And then on top of that, Ember got a nat failure. So to describe that, there's probably a scene where you guys are making your way through the foothills, and like looking at the map. This is the map that you guys have access to. This is something that the Elsevier Consortium you picked up from cartographers that were employed by them. One thing that you find yourself very quickly cursing them for is, you see this big gap where there's apparently nothing listed there between Brindol and sort of the point that you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that's actually rife with fucking little streams and fens and foothills that begin almost as soon as you get out of Brindol. So your plan for sort of getting there as quickly as you can is very quickly dashed, and you find yourself, routinely, going up one hill, down another one, and then you find another fucking stream that you have to go through. So you get wet again, and then you get up the next side of the hill, and then you get out to the bottom of that, and there's another goddamn stream you have to go through. And I think it's on one of these where you guys are making your way down a bit of scree. And Ember, your legs are just, this is not what you were used to. Nope. And your legs are just too tired, so you misstep at one point, and you're not able to recover. You just don't have the strength to do that. So you take a pretty bad spill down a good stretch of scree. You don't suffer any actual injuries from it, but it just knocked the wind out of you. And because you guys have to keep going, that's where you're really lagging behind. Now, what this means, guys, is because Ember is so fucking exhausted, you guys can either continue to move at the pace of your slowest party member, which will be Ember now, or you can try and do something to, to carry her or whatever.
I suggest Rakis carries her on his shoulders.
They got 2 Minotaurs. They could totally easily carry her.
Just
well, what that will
horns.
do is that will play into the difficulties for their endurance checks.
Which are already at a penalty.
They could make like a little hammock thing and like carry her. With a bedroll.
Who's going to feed me grapes?
So I rolled the encounter for the trip beforehand, guys. So I'm not going to go through that live on air. But what you encounter as you are traveling along, so one thing you that is good news is that let me see here. I think Brent, you're the tracker. Yeah, you're the scout. So Brent, you're able to follow, or Halen, I should say, you're able to follow the trail. And while they are, the hobgoblins do move in a fairly disciplined manner, where they're walking in a sort of single file and whatnot, like in Imperial Stormtroopers. It is a pretty easy trail to follow. You guys are making your way at this point through a patch of forest. This is maybe your second day out, and you're making your way through some forested hills. You're probably around here now, guys. Let me think. Oh, who do we lose? Only Ember's back. So you're hoping fairly close to where Rivenroar is, at least the older maps you have, where it should be. And as you're getting along there, you can hear this sort of rushing sound. And when you guys get to the source of it, you find that it seems like a late spring runoff has suddenly come up, and part of the trail has been completely washed away. So what this is, and I think it's the first time we've had a non-role-playing or non-combat encounter. Every time you guys go on a travel, and forgive me if I'm telling you stuff you remember from last time or you read in the travel rules, every time you go on a trip, I roll a number of events that will happen during that. That depends on how long the trip is. The events can be combat encounters, they can be role-playing encounters, they can be things that you just see along the way, or they can be travel challenges, which is what we're dealing with right now. What this is each of the different things that come up, the combat encounter, the things you see on the road, the role-playing encounter, that will trigger one of the different roles from the party. And this one happens to affect, let's see here. Where was it? This is the guide. So the guide is Oberon. Oberon, would you kindly make a nature check for me?
A nature check. Yep, well, I'm not great at this. Oh!
Hey, that is fucking awesome. Okay, so that's a big fucking success. So you can sort of get there and you can see this. You can picture that, you know, there's a good chunk of the hill here has been washed away. One sec, James is having some sound difficulties. Let's see if it's on the. Oh, that would be because yeah, James has dropped from the Google Plus call. Can someone type into Roll20 for James to rejoin the? Oh, there we go. James, you're back.
I am.
Yeah. So that was the sound problem you were having, is that you weren't in the Google Plus call.
Oh, okay, sorry.
What is going on here? Oh, you know what? I wonder if the screen. One second here, guys. I want to check one thing. I'm just looking at the screen. The screen is showing as black. I want to make sure that we're not broadcasting a black fucking screen. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. It's live right now. Let's see what we're. And we are broadcasting a black screen. Awesome. Point that you're trying to get to. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna try and refresh this thing. I don't know why the hell that's doing that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Jeff, why did you roll a nature check?
Because Kevin asked me to.
Oh, okay. Didn't know if there was something more to it.
Okay, sorry guys. Just refreshing this here. Yeah, I need. Sorry, that was only Jeff's character that needs to make a history check. There you go.
I just saw a lot of talking going on, and I can't read lips.
We're plotting against you.
Now I need to make a history check?
No, you need.
I thought you said nature.
Okay. It was nature, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Green. One second, guys. I want to check one thing. I'm just looking at the screen. The screen showing black. I want to make sure that we're not broadcasting a black. Okay, hold on. Stop. Nature. Okay. It was nature, yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I was explaining the roles. So as I said, Jeff, your character is the one who is what do you call it? Who has so I'm just going to open up. You know, I'm going to make sure that the feed doesn't go black again by just keeping an eye on it here. Let's see. I'll just mute this in the background. I'm just going to open. Okay, there we go. So the what you guys can picture is that you come across this path that's completely washed out, and you, yeah, I mean, now you need to either clear some of the stuff out of the way, or like construct a way to get across, or you need to go and find a new path. And Jeff, what your successful nature check tells me is that you've been able to find a way. Like, you think that by making use of some stuff, you can find a way directly across here. You're not going to have to waste time trying to, you know, backtrack and then find another way to go back to find the other side of this. But what this will require, guys, is I need each of you to make either a survival, or hold on, either a nature check or an athletics check. You guys can choose.
I'm better at nature than athletics.
Now, as with the other things too, guys, feel free to add, if you've got a role-playing, or rather a theme or a background that you think might provide some sort of role-playing benefit, let me know, and I'm happy to try to, or at least I'll consider that, and then see if you can get a bonus from that. You also can help your allies out as well too. So, like, maybe talk amongst yourselves as to what you're planning to roll, and then see if you need help from anyone else. Excuse me. What do you think, guys?
Well, I've got a 3 bonus in each.
Okay. Let's see here. Oberon, your nature's a little better than your athletics, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
then,
what are we trying to do? We're trying to build something?
We all have to do the same one.
well, this is trying to get yourself across. You're trying to find a way to get across this thing. It's not passable in a safe manner at this point. You're going to need to find some way to get across here. So what?
How big is it? How big is the gap?
What's that, Brent? Again, you guys need to lean in against the mic.
How wide is it?
It's probably about like 30 or so feet across. It's too far, and then there would be, because of spring runoff, there would be some dead zone between the trees beforehand too. So you're talking about like 50 or 60 feet across. So you're going to need to find some way of basically what this is modeling is your way of either like, you know, getting someone across and then setting up a rope so that people can just like, you know, drag themselves along, or to build some kind of makeshift bridge or something like that.
Is there any like rocks or something on a hilly terrain? Is there anything like that I could jump and like try and use acrobatics to get from one side, like from obstacle to obstacle, and then
No.
on the other side put a rope?
I don't think so. I'm not sure if you've ever seen what you know, spring runoff is like in the mountains, but it's effectively like whitewater all the way along.
Okay.
There's just so much water coming along. I don't think there's anywhere that's exposed along here. Some of your other, you can sort of picture that as we. Oh, go ahead, James.
I think what we do is we take one of the minotaurs, tie a rope around them, and have them walk through it while we hold the other end so they don't get washed away. Okay. And once they make it to the other side, tie it off, and then one of the other minotaurs stays at this end. Everyone else goes across the rope, and once they're done, we'll pull that last minotaur back.
You know, both Halen and Rackus are actually pretty decent at athletics.
Wait.
And that'll help them. That'll help them cross and also on the return trip.
Sure. So who would? I guess that let's.
Kev, I can fly up to 35 feet.
Yeah, which would probably land you somewhere in the middle of the river.
Okay.
So that's not unfortunately it's just too far. Yeah. Brent, either you or like both you and Rackus are, like, mechanically speaking, are about as good. So where Rackus, you know, he's got the benefit of having more mass and more strength. Your advantage is you've got less surface area, so there's less pressure from the river as you're going along.
And I'm not affected as much by difficult terrain, right?
Yeah, and it's sort of like you grew up in the Wormsmoke Mountains, right? So you've been through this kind of thing before. There's just times, you know, certain times a year where it's really fucking hard to get across these rivers. So you have to be very.
Well, you know what? And you know what? He's probably used to this. Maybe I'll do the rope thing, and I've got the spear, so I can also feel ahead of me, so I'm not slipping over rocks or going into
I love that.
A hole.
You know, Brent, I'll give you +2 to your athletics check for that. That's really cool.
All right. Can I use a nature check, or do I have to use athletics?
Oh no, you can use nature or athletics, either one.
Okay, I will go for nature then.
Okay.
So 21
awesome.
plus 2 is 23.
Sweet. So here's what, you know, Brent, I think what you did, going on what you said, is while you can't see where the stones and rocks are, you know, or you can't see exposed ones, what you're doing is you're studying the rapids, and your eyes are going, so you can see where they are beneath there. You know, places where you get the best sort of, you know, the best point to dig yourself in, the places where, you know, the natural underlying forms of the river will be, you know, making the water less difficult to get through. So yeah, so this little, you guys talk it over, and Ember, you know, still like and breathing heavily, suggests that you know, one of the big strong minotaurs does that, and as the Bloodhoof brothers are discussing it amongst themselves, Halen steps forward and sort of, you know, studies the the river, throws the rope over his shoulder, ties it around, and then plunges out successfully. So there's maybe 1 or 2 points where you lose your footing, but that's just because the fact that you're not just washed down the river immediately speaks to your hardiness, I guess, Halen. But yeah, while you do get a little wet and a little so exhausted by the time you get to the far side, you successfully traverse it. So you're able to set up that rope. Who would like to go next?
Rakus will go.
Okay. Now, Rakus, are you trying to use your sort of brute strength here to?
He's got a rope to hold too. I can tie it off to a tree or something on the other side, right?
Yeah, like what the rope will do, Brent, is it'll give +2 to their rolls, but it's still like, I mean, I'm trying to think of a comparative. Like, I'm not sure if you're been in rapids before or anything like that, but like, imagine just your entire whatever part of your body you have in there. You've got the force of like a moving car that's trying to push you downstream, right? So it helps a lot, but it still is a really fucking difficult thing to get through. So Rakus, you were up. That means are you trying to use kind of brute strength here, or your knowledge of the wilds, or what? Actually, Rakus, your knowledge of the wilds is minimal. So,
yeah. Which is odd considering like I grew up out on the plains, but
apparently you were more of the hunter than gatherer. So.
Fair. Yeah, then brute strength it is then.
Okay. So give me an athletics check, please, and add +2 to the result. Go! Holy shit! Excuse me, Rakus. Yeah, no problem. You plunge into that river, and is furious. Oh, you know what? You guys all have -2 to your checks as well. I forgot because of the exhaustion. But Halen still succeeds. So effectively, with the rope now, you guys are back to a normal results. Rakus, that's amazing. You plunge through there, and you're like, if you think of something like the most majestic sort of giant black minotaur charging through this, churning white water. Scene, you get across there with very little effort. Not even once where you lose your footing. Oh, sorry, guys. Someone's making a lot of noise.
Halen looks at Rectus when he gets through, and he's like, "Meh, you had a rope."
Okay, who would like to go next? Oh, sorry, what was that, Dave? I missed that.
Rakus will respond with, "At least I look majestic."
Halen laughs.
Yeah, basically, Rakus, you look like a beer commercial. Charging through all majestically. In the deep in the Giantshield Mountains is where we get our water.
How far do you want to bet? Where do you want to make a bet on how far Ember makes it before he falls?
Speaking of, Ember's going next.
Okay, so what is Ember going to do?
She's just going to pull her way along the rope.
Okay, so that'll be, I think, athletics then.
Yeah.
Which is... Fuck, hold on.
Maybe she should tie another... I'll yell over, tie a second rope to the first rope, like loosely, so she doesn't go down the current.
Yeah.
Nice. Doesn't get washed away.
One thing you would know though is if she say gets halfway through the rope and then loses her grip and is dragged down, the likelihood of her being drowned before you guys get to her is fairly high.
Oh.
Right? Because remember, she's what you would have done then is just effectively she can't get any further, but she stays in the one place, but that water keeps going over her.
Is it possible, Kev, for her to tie a rope around her, and Rakus can help by pulling it from the other side, so that she doesn't have to worry about even if she loses her footing, he's providing the active mechanism by which she's moving across the river?
Sure. Talk to me about how you're going to get the rope across the river to Rakus then.
Ember's going to use Unseen Servant.
That's excellent. Okay.
It can go 100 feet away from her.
Awesome. So Rakus Ember does exactly that. Ember's skin instantly is looking pretty pale for her, even though she's got that crimson skin. It's looking pretty pale because and her eyes look a little. The sockets are sunken in. This trip has been taking quite the toll on her. So describe for us what it looks like to see that that rope just sort of drift across there, James.
She does her thing, grabs the rope, pulls it through her hand, and then just keeps pulling it, and it just keeps going straight for a little bit, and then she lets go, and she mentally commands the unseen servant to pull the rope across.
Okay.
So the kind of
so
comes out like that, and it just goes.
What I'll let you do, James, because you do have the option of either athletics or nature. Your nature is not a huge amount better, but at least there's no penalty. So why don't you give me a nature check? You got -2 to that, but +2 because of the rope. So there's no dice modifier right now. And if you fail, then we'll go to Arrakis and see what he does.
Sounds good.
Okay. So that is actually good enough. So you guys, you make your way across. There's once or twice where you sort of, like there's a period where you're having to draw on the very last wells of strength you have to hold on to the rope as your legs are washed out from under you. And then they sort of, you can hear Halen and Rakis are sort of shouting at you as you're in the middle of the river, trying to, tell you how to get your feet back down again. It is a bit of a production, but you managed to get yourself across without any incident.
In your face, Halen.
Okay, who is going to go next?
Are these ropes above the water?
They are, yeah.
Maybe I could try tightrope walking across them.
They would. Let's see here. I think that I would have. You know what? There would be enough time because, like a tightrope walk, it needs to be really fucking taut then.
That's true.
And if it gets wet whatsoever. But I don't know. But that does sound kind of cool.
I could get a big stick to balance with.
I like that. That's the bone you throw me. I like, good, big fucking stick.
And of course, I have remarkable, elvish feet and an amazing acrobatic skill. As you recall, the other day, I jumped down from a 2-story building.
Yes, you did. So now you're not going to know the results of this. What I'll do is I'm going to get you to make your acrobatics check to see if you would make it successfully across. But then I'm going to get Rakis to make an athletics check and see if he tied it tight enough.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be me? I was the one who went over with the rope and tied it.
Right, but I think that your plan wasn't to try and set it up as a tightrope.
No.
Right, so I think that it would probably actually, like, to be honest, it would be a combination of the two of you guys in order to get that rope tight enough so that it's going to sit taut and will allow this 160-pound elf to walk across it for 50 feet. It's got to be like there's got to be a lot of tension on it. But I like that idea, so I don't want to say no altogether. But I do want to see what happens. So,
New Tie's idea of a good time. All right.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, New Tie, so give me your acrobatics check, and then we will check the.
Look at you.
Boom!
Okay, so long as this thing is tied tight, then no problem. I will let either Nute or Rakis can make this roll, but I'll give you a +2 to it because of you got another person helping you. But I am going to give -2 because of your exhaustion level. So let's see. One of you two go ahead and make the roll.
Not just roll though.
Oh no! What it was, Dave, is that I'm making Nute has made the roll to see whether he would have successfully got across. Now we're going to see whether the rope was tied tight enough.
Oh yeah. That looked good to me.
I'm just gonna double check. Oh, you guys are lucky. So yeah, with a -2, you exceed the target number by 1. So yeah, so you thankfully because you work together. There's maybe a tense moment as you're like halfway across there, Nute, as you're walking along, and you can see like your feet are starting to have like there's a spray of water that's getting onto them. and everyone watching is kind of like, "Yee," but you're able to successfully navigate your way across the river without falling in, and you daintily drop down. So I think the only person left on the other side now is Oberon, right?
Yep.
So how are you going to get across, Oberon?
I guess I'm gonna try and use nature again.
Okay.
I don't really have athletics, so.
Okay. So you can try and rely on your survival instincts here.
Yep.
You get +2 because of the
Rope.
rope, but no modifier or -2 because of the what the hell? Hey, nice one, 20. All right, so Oberon as well too doesn't quite pull off as majestic a it's not going to appear in a Coors commercial anytime soon, but it does he does successfully navigate his way across without any kind of incident. So yeah, so you guys are all have successfully dealt with this hazard, and as you guys are you leaving this here, the rope here, or are you going to?
My unseen servant can untie it and.
Well, I'm just thinking for when you come back. Like, do you want to leave?
No, let's take it.
Yeah, you never know when you get rope in the mountain.
We may not come back this way.
Okay. So you guys, yeah, the unseen servant will recover the rope from. You know what, James? I am going to get you to make an Arcana check for me, please. And I'll tell you why is because with how tight that you guys have had to tie that in order for Nute to make his way across, I'm not sure the unseen servant has enough strength to do that.
Okay.
So just give me oh yeah, okay, so that's good enough. You give us some extra magical juice, and then you are good to go. Okay. So you guys decide to make camp shortly afterwards because I think you're all sort of spent by that. That evening's passes uneventfully. Why don't you guys quickly talk to me about what sort of precautions you're taking as you sleep?
We leave Ember on watch.
Right.
I've got lots of energy. I can do this all night.
Yeah.
You know what? Rakus will actually give Ember his bedroll.
Ooh, thank you, sir. And sir, is that meaningful?
That gives you a D8 of temporary hit points.
Nice. So go ahead and make a D8 roll there, Ember. That helps your squishy number out. 3, nice. And carrying so on. You put on your character sheet that your 3 temporary hit points. Then when we get into a combat encounter, just remember to add 3 to the blue bar. Because that's your 10 hit points. Okay, so apart from the smartassery, what is the actual sort of plan you guys have for like? Are there any other precautions you take in your camping, or you just have one person keep watch at a time?
Is there if there's somewhere we can have more defensive, especially in the foothills, particularly if there's somewhere we could build a fire that's sheltered by the rocks, not as easily noticed?
Yeah.
Yeah. How like the steep foothills be?
Sure. What's that, Dave? So you guys are both. I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
How like the steeps would the foothills be? I mean, not necessarily in actual terrain, but in more in topography. I mean, would Rakus be able to extrapolate his time out in the steeps to where they are now?
I don't think so. I mean, like the steps are, while there's elevation involved there, it's flat for the most part, right? So it's miles and miles and miles of grasslands versus this constantly up and down bullshit terrain, right? Think of the Rockies in Alberta versus the middle of Saskatchewan.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think one common element is the steps are extremely unforgiving. In a sense that there's no fucking brakes for the wind. There's no breaks for the sun, so the hardiness is the same, but the actual terrain is a little different. What was it you were hoping to get out of it?
Well, I mean, if it was kind of the same terrain and topography that Rakus had to fend through, he might know some kind of fortifying techniques to be used overnight. But if it's not the same terrain, then
well, Helen will point out to you just because we're like tricks like that.
So, Brent, I can't hear you, Brent.
I was gonna say Helen's familiar with mountains and
Brent, I can't. You got to lean forward.
Helen is very familiar with mountainous and hilly terrain, so I'll just I guess how we used to do it as his tribe and stuff like that, and things like lighting your fire or making use of the rocks for finding somewhere defensive to camp.
Yeah. No, I love that. Okay, so you guys are talking a little bit, maybe like trading, tips and stuff like that, knowing, because this is the first time you guys are really like venturing into enemy territory, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, cool. So then,
oh, hey, Kev.
Yeah.
When Halen is not on watch before he goes to sleep, and he's been doing this each night for a bit too. He's been trying to meditate and holding the crystal in his hand and trying to focus on it.
Okay, I don't think that because you're on the road, because you're traveling all day, and you're not really able to get a good night's sleep or anything like that. I'm not sure you're going to be able to focus your attention well enough to be able to do that.
That's fine. He'd still be trying anyway. That's his routine. Sure. Like half an hour before he goes to sleep or something, meditate and hold the crystal and try and focus. And if nothing happens, that he just keeps trying.
Okay, no, that sounds good. So I'm just giving you context as to why it's not working.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
okay, so I like that. Okay, cool. So the next morning, you guys all set out, and again, you guys sort of all take your marching order as usual, with Halen up front. And Halen, it's about midday when you're making your way along this relatively new tromped trail. It's a clear trail up towards, somewhere up in the foothills, but it's a relatively newly made path. You are keeping your eyes on the ground, and then you suddenly see that there is a patch of what can only, guys, are getting noise from somebody. Yeah, Brad, it's from you. Whatever's going on in your place. Is there something near? Is there a vacuum going or something like that?
But Laura's vacuuming in this other floor. I must be carrying down. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry. You can just mute your mic for the moment.
Yeah, that's probably easier.
Okay, so what you see? Whoopsies! Oh shit! What you find, Halen, is there's a patch, a dark spreading patch on the ground that can only be blood, and it looks like it's still got a brownish sort of I'm trying to think where, like, there's a bit of a sheen, like a textured sheen to it, where it really hasn't been tromped over since. And as you look down, you can see that there's a kind of a dragging, there's a disturbance of the detritus on the ground off into a bush to your right, as if something was dragged from where this initial pool fell and then over to the side.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is stop, take in to see if I can hear anything or see anything that seems out of place. And then once I do that, then I'll investigate the patch to the right.
What do you mean by out of place?
Do I hear or see hear any sounds that don't sound right, like rustling or twigs breaking, or see movement in the distance or branches swinging?
Sure. Give me a perception check, please. Let's see if you see the arrows coming in. I mean, Okay, and -2 from your exhaustion is 13. Okay, you stop and you're sort of, trying to focus every single one of your senses as best you can. You're feeling like, prey that can feel the eyes of a predator on it, but you don't think there's anything out there. This would have been likely a day or so ago.
Good.
You can hear the sounds, the buzzing of insects, though, off to your right.
Okay, I will go see what's dead to my right.
Okay. So you have you gestured to your companions at all, or
How far, when I'm scouting, I'm assuming I'm a bit further in front of them, or am I just sort of like together?
Yeah, I think you're a little bit forward, but you're probably keeping them in eyes. You'll keep them in eyesight, though, as best you can. So because if you go too far ahead, you might potentially lose them.
Okay, sounds good. Then I guess I will motion them over.
Okay, so you motion them forward, and you start making your way in. I'm picturing you sort of pushing the branches and stuff aside with your spear.
Yeah, it doubles as a walking stick, and
yeah. So what you find is not terribly far into the bushes. Unfortunately, she appears to have only dragged herself a mere like 3 to 5 feet off of the trail. As soon as you open or push the bushes aside, you can see there is a stocky dwarven form that is lying face down in the detritus, and the buzzing you're hearing is of insects swirling around above her.
I'll use my spear to sort of like move her onto her back so I can see the face.
Okay. So I'm assuming you mean the blunt end of the spears.
Yes. I'm not trying to puncture her.
Okay, so you push it over, and you can see the side of the face, and it is a dwarven woman.
Does that match the description of any of the missing?
Why don't you take a look at the list? Does someone have the list handy?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
There's a female dwarf by the name of Janara Ungart in her 140s. And there is a female acolyte of Ayun, but we don't know what her race is.
Everyone who doesn't have a race specified, you can assume is a human.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so just one female dwarf.
All right. Does she have any like obvious wounds?
If you push her over, yeah, there is the front of her cassock is just stained in blood, and you can see that when you push her body over, there's a trail across. Oberon? You're trained in heal. I think you're the only one. Why don't you give me a heal check for me, please?
Yeah. Okay. Did not work. So we worked twice. The first one was 24.
Yeah, we'll take the first one.
Yeah, there was just a delay, and I pressed it again.
All right. You know what? I'm going to. How can I do this? I'm trying to make sure. Does anyone know how to whisper in this? What? As cool as that would be, I'm just going to send you an email, Jeff.
They just like to suck the taxpayer money and fuck off. I hate that company for a long time. They're the people who take all the tax subsidies and then do things like
Okay, Jeff, I'm just sending you the info now. Sorry, guys, if I was more on the ball here, I would have prepped the email and sent it. I will do that next time. So Jeff, the reason I'm doing this, guys, because I think it'd be more interesting to have you guys share the information with the group rather than me just fucking narrate through.
Okay. So the body has several stab wounds in it. Examine her fingers. Some dirt in her fingers. Looks like she's been dragged here to be killed, probably. And they stabbed her, gutted her, and left her here to die.
Okay, sorry, Jeff. That's not what I sent.
Oh. What?
Yeah, because there's dirt in her fingers, so she probably dragged herself into the bushes to die.
Oh, I see. She dragged herself away from where they killed her. Oh, okay, sorry, I see.
Yeah, they stabbed her in the chest and gut and left her to die.
Right.
So Oberon shares that information with you guys. What do you guys want to do, if anything?
I say we stop and give her a proper funeral rite to whatever dwarf does.
Does she have any rings or jewelry, like identifying kind of stuff?
There are markings on her, or like sort of like effectively like tan lines on her hands that show that she probably customarily wore rings, but there's no rings there now. There's no other jewelry, just the clothes on her back, basically. So what do you guys want to do? Carry on, or?
Well, how would I guess a dwarf would probably be buried.
I don't know if will suggest to Oberon, because it's always struck him that his brother's more into this kind of thing, that perhaps the body needs to be buried, and you seem to be into that.
Amber's exhausted. She's not doing any shoveling or anything like that. But if you want to sit, or if you want to bury the body, she has no problem taking a break and regaining her strength.
It's less a fact of regaining your strength as it is not losing more. If you guys do want it to do this, then what I'm going to do is whoever picks somebody who's going to dig the grave, and they're going to make another endurance check.
Rakus will do it.
Okay.
I can switch on and off with you if you want.
So how does that work, Kev, if Helen and Rakus take turns?
That means you guys both make an endurance check, but what I will do is not apply the exhaustion penalty. So it's still a pretty high difficulty number just because of the, how hard this trip has been, but you won't suffer your current exhaustion levels. You will get the +2 from Oberon, though, and you'll get the +1 from Brent's ritual. So you'll get +3 to your result.
Okay, and that is that athletics?
Yes, please. Each of you guys. Yeah, this is just athletics. So both of you guys make an athletic check for me, please. Okay.
That didn't sound awesome.
And okay, actually, Halen, I think that you're okay.
Yay!
So Rakus,
you're digging the grave with yourself.
Rakus is getting another level of exhaustion. So currently, you are also at half speed. So let's see here. Ember has 2 levels of exhaustion. Rakus has 2 levels of exhaustion. Halen, you're still at 1, so you don't lose any more. But both Halen and Rakus, you get an action point.
Mm.
So, do one of you guys want to say a quick thing over her grave? Or
this is where Rakus claps Oberon on the back and says, "I think this is your part."
Nice. Oberon, you want to say something over her grave?
Sure. Says, Well, strange woman, we never knew you, but it is sad that you are dead, and I'm sure that the people who loved you will miss you.
Nice. Okay. Brent, I need you to mute again because they were getting your vacuum. Sorry, guys. Okay. So after doing that, I'm guessing you guys aren't going to continue on for the rest of the day. You're just going to, lay down. Oh, Brent, that vacuum is really bad again. Sorry, your mic is being. It won't listen to either of you guys when you're on either side, but it will pick up the fucking vacuum that's a level above. Excellent engineering at work there. Okay, so let's see here. Then you guys hit the sack, and we'll skip to the next day. So the next scene we see is you guys sort of coming up this another, which seems to you like an endless series of sort of switchback type hills or foothills, and you reach the top, and then Halen, you instinctively, duck down, because what you're seeing are the ruins of Rivenroar.
I yell at the top of my lungs, "Hey, we're here!" Or not.
I thought not.
Not really.
Okay. So, what do you do? Maybe what I'll do is I'll describe what you see. So this is a partially forested. It's located in a pretty defensible kind of valley. There are basically it's like two sort of arms of foothills that are stretching down from a fairly sheer facing, and near that is where the ruins, and really they are ruins. Like there's 1 out of 4 walls that's standing on a what was probably a keep at one point. There is a excuse me, some other skeletal remains of buildings that were built on the property here. There's the remnants of a wall that probably helped or held some livestock within. But now what you can see is there are hundreds of tents and lean-tos and so forth, and cooking fires that are set up to support the sprawling army of the Red Hand that has set up in these ruins. So what are you doing, Halen? You see this before everyone else comes up to it, so you'll have the first opportunity to respond.
When I see that, I'll take it in and then sneak back down and let everyone else know before they get in visual or range of it. So I'll come scampering back down once I'm out of eyesight of the fortress or the ruins, and let everyone know that we're here.
Okay. So you go scampering down.
And we can be spotted.
Okay. So because of how rough these, I guess one thing you can also see, Brent, there are a lot of there's a lot of hobgoblins and goblins and some ogres as well that are only like maybe 2 or 3 ogres, but there's a number of them that are making their way around in the camp. So you come down and you describe that to the rest of the guys, and what do you guys want to do?
I'm assuming there's probably even too many to pick off scouting parties and stuff.
Can we just go around? Skirt this? Avoid the scouts and patrols and whatnot, and just get past them?
Should we send a couple people on recon?
Well, we're not going here, right? We're trying to get to another place.
No, you're going here.
Oh crap!
This is the ruins of Rivenroar. and it's in the crypts of Rivenroar that Sinrith and likely the hostages or the captives at least, and the what do you call it? The heirlooms are to be found.
I'm wondering if there's any like paths that would get us close to the ruins without being detected, that are either covered, with rocks or trees or chunks of ruin.
Well, I do have my gloaming shroud as well.
I'll ask. I'm going to ask Kaylin. Did you see any minotaurs amongst the people there, or the creatures there?
No.
No. Hobgoblins and ogres.
And goblins.
And regular goblins.
Well, and I thought to use maybe the minotaurs as a ruse where, we could pretend we're their prisoners kind of thing if there were other minotaurs in the group or in the army. But
Steve, what did you say a moment ago?
I've got my gloaming shroud, which creates some dim light, which might come in handy if we're trying to sneak around. Mm-hmm. And I like sneaking around.
Yeah, I think if you guys want to do a reconnoitering, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use we're going to play through the infiltration as kind of a skill challenge as well. That'll determine whether you have to fight your way in or fight your way off. In answer to one of the other questions, if that old chestnut to sort of like take out one group of scouts and then take out another one and whatnot, you can do that, but what do you think that the army would do in response as soon as they realized that someone was preying on them?
I can go for run away. But that's probably the incorrect answer.
No, the army would go out and search. Or send much bigger forces to search.
And fortify.
Yeah.
And how do you think that would bode for the captives?
Peachy. They know it's not them.
Obviously, if they're captives, they're being held for a reason. So I don't know that they'll dispatch them, without due cause.
That's a really interesting point, Rakus. Why would they have taken them in the first place?
Food.
There's a lot easier and more, bountiful prey out here than there is to eat people.
Delicacy food?
Probably to ransom back. Or as sacrifice for something.
Now you're talking.
Amber, give me a history check. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
That's good. Well, remember what first off, remember it is the Villicus family that inhabits Rivenroar. Remember what they're known for?
Nope.
Necromancy.
Oh.
Everyone loves
the sooner
zombies.
they kill them, the better.
So, what is the plan, guys? If what you want to do, we're going to do this in a narrative kind of cutscenes kind of format here, and then if we have to drop into a tactical encounter, we'll do that. But one of the suggestions I heard thrown out was some reconnoitering. So,
sorry, but yeah, that's maybe the elves could go and take a look and see what's happening, or see if there's any way of getting into the lower levels without being noticed.
Sure.
I have enough gloaming shroud for 2.
Steve, what is your stealth bonus?
9.
It's 9. Okay, so Halen's is a plus 10.
11 if I put on my stealthy shoes.
Remind me again. Can you post what the stealth shoes do again? Because I thought there was something specific about them. Oh yeah, it only helps for when there's only it's the limited. What do you call it? For being silent, and the thing is, you need to both be silent and not seen. So
yeah, the shoes are +1 for not being heard, and the camouflage clothing only works for visual and when I'm standing still.
yeah. So I think that they are going to be useful in certain circumstances, like, you know, if you're scampering above, you know, like if you're on the other side of a tent and you're trying to make your way past, that would benefit. So definitely wear them, Brent. It's just that for this particular skill challenge, they're not gonna benefit.
Okay.
So why don't each of you guys give me a stealth check, please? Let's see how we do. Unfortunately, remember that you are suffering a -2 because of the exhaustion. Whoa, nicely done, Halen. Okay, Rakus, you're not rolling stealth. It's only the people who are good at reconnoiter.
Right.
I'm coming with thump, 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 thump.
Okay, now here's the thing: is as a DM, I really want to be able to take advantage of that nat 1. But Rakus, was your intent to go as part of this reconnoitering, or were you just rolling stealth because I said roll stealth?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ember, same thing too, guys. Only people who are taking part in the reconnoitering are rolling stealth.
But I figure we want to stay hidden anyways.
You know, just staying stealthy.
If you're telling me that I should, you know, to insist on, me accepting your 4 that you rolled there, James, I will happily take that. Okay, so let's interpret these dice here. So Halen and Nute, you guys did pretty well. So what we see is you guys are making your way down. You're scampering down together, and this is like, this is the times when we see just how fucking loud everyone else makes you guys, because you two act like a stealth infiltration unit. You make your way down the side of the hill, and you're able to scamper your way around and get around the encampment without anybody getting a scene on, seeing anything from you. You will get a good enough view of all the different areas of the area, so that you can. I'll answer any questions that you have as to the layout of it, or ways you can get in, or like when the patrols happen, or anything like that. So we sort of see this scene where you guys are looking, at each other, and you're sort of giving each other that gesture. There's maybe kind of like the sort of the wordless sort of communication that hunters have with each other. I'm picturing you guys have that sort of shorthand with each other as elves, and you give them Nute, you sort of look to Halen and give him the gesture of like, "Are we good? We got enough?" And Halen, you sort of give the gesture as well, and that's when you look up. Actually, hold on, he's got a higher passive perception here. Halen's got 17. What's your perception there, Steve-O?
My perception is 18.
Is plus 8? Passive is 18. Okay, so Nute, okay, I'll say so. 18 is your passive. So Nute, you look up and you think, who the hell is doing this? There is a single black tendril of smoke that's coming from the side where your camp is hidden. If the hobgoblins see this, they're going to know that there's someone else who's out there. So we sort of cut back to you guys, are in camp, and Ember has, gestured with her hand, and there's a, flame, and you've got a hot meal that's being made. You look like hell, like, it is not a pleasant thing. And You've been
trying to make tea.
Yeah, you kind of got like, your traveling blanket is over your shoulders, and you're just sort of watching this water boil in front of you, and that's when the Halen and Nute. I think Halen is actually a little bit faster than Nute. Is that right, Brent, or am I crazy?
If I use any of my powers, I believe I am, but not on my base.
Okay. So you guys both get in at the same time, and one of you sort of kicks the fire out. Probably the two of you, like one of you knocks the wood aside, and the other one kicks stuff on top of it, and you're like, well, what do you say? Like, what do you say to that?
The hell are you thinking?
You ruined my tea.
You ruined our hiding. You can see that smoke tendril from the fortress. Or from the ruins.
There wasn't supposed to be that much smoke.
Okay. So mechanically, guys, where we're sitting is 2 successes and 1 failure. So, what do you guys want to do next? Do you have any questions for me?
Is there a way to? Did we find where? I guess a couple. Did we find the entrance to the lower levels?
You think so? Yeah. It seems to be. You would think that they would just, sort of build the camp around that, but they don't seem to have done that for whatever reason. But you do see that, and actually on the immediate area of the surface of the excuse me, of the entrance to the crypts, there isn't any kind of like posted guard there, and in fact, there's no one camping in there. If you were to guess, maybe it's the fact that if there are undead lurking underneath in the crypts as well, that they may not want to sleep there. But it's to your benefit. The downside is that the discipline in this army is pretty impressive. So there are regular patrols, such that you're kind of not going to be able to. You may be able to try and like slip past one of the patrols, but you're not going to be. You're not going to be able to get past, without encountering one of the patrols. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So we can slip past one, but we'll have to fight one.
No. What I'm saying is that you will encounter one, likely, but if you can time it properly, you may be able to get past them without them noticing.
Okay. Hey, Kev, just as a pure, because we now have 2 elves in the party, does that perception bonus stack for people?
No. Remember, everything in 4th edition, if it's from the same type of source, you do not get
it. Right. Okay.
Yeah. You can't get the same thing. So, like, same reason, like casting the same rituals over and over again don't give you a new bonus. It's the same type of bonus. Okay. So,
I've been playing too many different editions.
Yeah, but if you guys, fair enough. Okay, so what do you want to do now? Anyone have any ideas as to how to do this? Like, is the plan to try and get in the crypts, kick some ass down there and then get out? Or
that would be Halen's idea. The only snag is, how do we get the loud people to that point without being detected?
All right.
One of the upsides is if you choose to engage that the patrol, and the patrols are about 7 hobgoblins, and usually they are accompanied by some kind of pretty big like reptilian creature, vicious. It's like fire engine red, with like kind of almost like plates of scales on it, that stands about as big as a pony.
Do I know what it is, like from my experience with the wilderness?
These things are not. Why don't you give me a nature check? Let's see what you know about these things.
Would I see them, or is it just them?
They're describing it to you, so I'll let you make a I think a nature check as well, James. Actually, nature or arcana. Arcana will be an even higher difficulty. Your nature will be higher because you didn't actually see it. Brent, actually, you know what? He can tell you exactly what it is because he rolled amazingly. So, what you were looking at, Brent, was it's some form of drake, and drakes are sort of like degenerate Draco forms, and it's a type of or a type of, with a roll that well, I'll give you even more. So it is a type of drake that's often referred to as a rage drake, and the reason being is because well, even in spite of being so big, they are extremely quick, and they're very sturdily built. Dragons are often, while they're creatures of magic and fury and muscle and teeth, these things are more stocky. It's much less elegant.
Do they have one, or do they have a few?
Generally, each patrol has one.
Okay.
Do I know
how
how high their senses are? Are they like something that someone would use to track or scout?
Yeah, they're using it probably to advance. There's your roll was good enough. It's that type of beast. It requires a specific type of handler, which means there's probably a handler in with the patrol. So to answer your other question is because there are so few of these patrols, or so few, well, not so few, there's no hobgoblins that are actually camping in that area, then apart from the patrols, you could probably make almost as much noise as you want, and it wouldn't necessarily draw the attention.
Okay, so a conflict wouldn't get back to the main camp?
As long as you got all of them. If one of the survivors got back to the camp, that could cause problems for you. And you also see that there are each of the patrols has one member that carries a horn with them, and that seems to be the way you remember from the attack on. Actually, you don't, but Nute would have. During the attack on Brindol, you remember hearing different horns being blown throughout the assault. So that may be the way that the army is communicating. So if you were able to make sure that they can't get that horn off as well, then you may be able to go ahead, Brent.
So I was going to say, I guess then if we came to conflict, the first target would be the guy with the horn. The second target would be the rage drake handler, because then without the handling, it might go crazy, or do something.
What do you think? Sure.
So here's the way I see it. We could go in, and the safe route would be almost to ambush the patrol and kill them in order of importance. Or secondly, we could try and stealth around them. But if our stealthy people were detected, then we won't be in a position to quickly dispatch the horn blower, and it might go badly for us.
Sure. And for that encounter, my gloaming shroud will turn light into dim light in a 10-foot radius.
And I was thinking maybe the two of us might be able to get in quickly and dispatch the horn, the goblin with the horn.
Sneak up on him and just give her.
Yeah.
If you succeed, basically, guys, what I'm going to set up is that if you succeed in this skill challenge, then you will be able to dictate how this combat encounter starts. You can place yourself, and then I'll tell you the group sort of order that this that the patrol is going in, and you guys can set it up so it kicks off when you want. If you fail, though, other problems may happen.
Right. Well, gotta do something.
All right. Well, why don't we move in and see if we can sort of get the pattern of the groups? Like, The two elves go in and then see how frequently they come and what path they follow.
You've got that information. That was part of your initial reconnoitering.
Mhm.
You know, actually, here, Brian, give me another perception check. Let's see if you can. And Steve, you can feel free to do that as well.
Sure.
Let's see if you guys are able to ratchet up a couple more successes here.
New tie. Looks around.
Oh, hey, do other elves?
Do they grant it to each other? I honestly don't know. Let's take a look at the phrasing. Okay, elf. Non-elf allies.
Unless applied to, I guess that would be not me.
Yeah, non-elf allies. So you guys are unfortunately too elvish to be able to benefit from that bonus. But okay, so Nute, that unfortunately is not because remember your level of exhaustion. I think you're just nodding off a bit.
Right.
So for what I'm going to count that as is Brent, you got one success from that, but Nute, I think you maybe nodded off at one point, and you guys were sort of doing this separately. So some of this is you've just come back with some bad intel, Nute. Okay. So I think the last one will come down to your actual infiltration. And what I'll do is I'll just have there's what, 6 of you guys on right now, 5 of you guys on right now, 5. I will have you all make stealth checks, and as long as half of you guys succeed, then you've got your success. And if you don't, then you'll get your failure. So, and the reason is because you guys are right now 1 fail away from failing the skill challenge and 1 success away from succeeding in the skill challenge.
All on the line.
Yep. So it all comes down to this particular infiltration. Anybody have anything that they can do to try and boost stealth or boost their allies' stealth or anything like that?
Yeah. Well,
Gloaming Shroud.
I've also got that robes that make common item, and I can't find its description on.
Well, Brent, you keep fading in and out, but I need you to make sure you're staying in one place. Here.
So I've got that robe that makes things. I wonder if I can make another. I could make some more stealth pads.
Well, from what I remember, the robe is limited in its GP value, so it depends on how much the stealth pads are worth.
Oh, I only have a PDF of that on my other computer. I have to pull it up.
It's okay. I got it right here, Brent.
Okay.
Give me a sec. While I'm looking at this up, anyone else have any ideas? Jeff, you got any thoughts?
I just nothing that really Oberon can do stealth-wise. He's sort of the opposite of stealthy.
Do you have any ideas for what the other guys can do then?
No.
All right.
So I apologize again, but traveler's camouflage, that only helps in a general travel sense, not in the specific encounter sense?
Yeah, well, you know what? If you want to, well, I'm trying to think. If you've got enough so you can use a ritual, I will let you make use of that, and it'll give +2 to the stealth checks.
Okay.
Here, hold on here. Let me see.
Gloaming Shroud.
Yeah. +2 to stealth checks. Okay, so because I'm assuming you've done that too, Brent, that means everyone does have +2 to stealth checks for this too. So that's a massive benefit.
Okay, so that will cut everyone's penalty.
Yep. Did someone cast Sleep on James?
I think so.
James, you still with us?
I'm still here.
Oh, it's riveting TV.
And how many of those foot pads can I make?
So foot pads are only 5 gold. So your robe can create what? I think it's only 1. And yeah, you know, Brent, the difficulty with the pads is that it's a very circumstantial bonus, right? Like it's not going to help.
I figured it was better than nothing, especially for the low stealth.
Hey, Brent, again, you got to stay near the mic, man. Sorry.
I thought it was better than nothing for the low stealth people. So I could give my pair to someone else, and if I could create a second one, let me give it to the two people the lowest stealth to head for bits.
Right, but again, Brent, it's a circumstantial, because for this skill check is just like your other ones. This is
okay, so it's just a general, right? Okay.
Yeah, like I said, it's not only being quiet or only being unseen. It's that you got to be both. So, like, I'm not saying that as to not make them. It's just that those benefits won't help for this particular skill challenge. Okay. They may still be useful in the course of going into the dungeon, or the crypts, I should say. Okay, robe of useful things. Up to 10 GP, so I'll let you make 2, Brent. So if you want to create 2.
Okay, who's got the lowest stealth here?
I have 0.
Yeah, Ember's got a +2. Oberon has a -1.
Oh, we do.
Oh wait, so Oberon and Ember get them.
Actually, you know what, Brent? And here to point out why this is not a wasted effort is, while this isn't going to be helpful here, you know what that would be useful for is moving into a room and like going up and listening at a door.
All right.
What is he making again?
Footpaths.
They give you a +1 to not be heard when you're using stealth.
Okay. So, all right, who would like to make their checks then first? You want the people who kick some ass at stealth to go first?
Sure.
Oh, I've got Nute's stats listed here.
Yes. All right. So you're suggesting Nute go first, right? Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Nute and Halen, I think, should probably open this up. Okay.
Sure.
Boom.
Halen sucked ass.
Wow, that's not. Do you want to stay with that, Brent, or do you want to spend an action point to reroll?
I will spend that action point to reroll. This whole encounter changes.
Sorry, I need you to stay near the mic. You're slowly drifting into like Charlie Brown's parents.
The computer with the Roll20 is a different one than with the mic. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the hero point because that would change the encounter dramatically if I fail.
Okay.
I can do better than the 3.
I think so. Here we go.
Or you can do the
exact same thing. You shouldn't have said that out loud. Roll20 heard you. Okay.
Apparently, so I rolled 2 3s in a row.
We need 2 more successes.
Roll20 is a harsh mistress.
Amber. Okay, so we need
better than a 1.
Both Oberon and Rackus to make their checks.
Does anyone else have hero points?
Like, why are we even trying to sneak with the Minotaurs? Like, this is the worst plan I've ever heard.
Who's ever heard of sneaking with a Minotaur?
Oberon's not, Oberon. Rackus is not like awful at stealth. It's just Oberon kind of is.
Well, he's freaking white. So, I mean, unless it's snowing.
Oh, all right. So it is down to Oberon's roll. Whew. Oberon, you do get +2 to your check.
+2 to my -1?
You know what, Brent? You got a +2 to yours. You actually succeeded.
Okay.
Oh, no, but you got -2 because you're.
All right.
No, actually, I think that's still good enough, though. So this is Oberon. Let's see how you do.
All right.
You know what? I don't know if it helps, Kev, but because Rackus went first, he'll lean over to Oberon and be like, "Okay, do what I do," and show him how it. Like,
yeah. You can't make that determination after you make the roll. You have to make that roll before, or make that decision beforehand. Yeah. So, but here's the thing: is that I forgot about the Traveler's camouflage, though, and I think that I'm going to go back and do the math here. Helen, you can have your action point back because I don't think you would have needed to spend it. Because you got +2 from your Traveler's camouflage, and then -2 from your exhaustion. But because it's dark when you guys are doing this, I've set the difficulty at average, which is only a 12. So you know what, guys? You actually make it. So
wow.
well, no. The thing is, only you need half of the party. What you can sort of picture is that Ember is sort of blundering her way along and making a lot of noise, and then at one point, she's about to, stumble out from behind one tree, and then Rackus sort of grabs her and pulls her back, and he shakes his big head, and Ember looks up at him with her big, orange eyes, and then looks out, and you see there's two hobgoblins who are walking past, chatting with each other in Goblinese, and you would have walked right into them. So, okay, so what I need just a 2-minute break here, guys. I want to grab some more water, and I got to go to the washroom. So why don't we take a quick bio break, grab drinks, and we'll come back, and then we'll do this encounter.
Okay.
Boom.
What are we drinking?
Oh. Okay, I am back. I'm just gonna check on Roll20 or Google Plus, see who else is here. All right.
I'm the only one here, I think, Kev.
Ori, okay, yeah. I see.
I'm not here.
Oh, Evo's there too. Okay, I'm gonna grab tokens that I need. Oh, dang it! I was trying to be terribly efficient, so I archived a bunch of the older maps that I don't need, and just realized I forgot to grab my. That's not what I need. Yes, that's the one. One neat thing you can do in Roll20 is you can just archive old maps. Okay. And I need to grab a token for Halen as well. Yeah, this is running so much smoother on Firefox.
Yeah, it totally does. Something happened to Chrome and Roll20's interaction.
Okay, so there's that. So we got Kitty, we got Nute, got just need to grab Halen, Bobalin. There he is. Okay. And once again, I was freaking out earlier today about how I had not prepared enough material, and I got through a third maybe of what I prepared. So
we always fool around in the minutiae.
Yeah, I know. But the one time that I don't, that I don't prepare the shit properly is when you guys will blow through. And for this kind of thing, it's. For any other game, it's not an issue normally, but for this, and if I want to have any kind of combat encounter, I do need the maps. So, although I would like to experiment with not on a regular basis, but do some encounters where we're not using maps and just do abstracted encounters. Excuse me. Okay, who am I
What
looking
am I
for?
working on?
Oh, Baron. Oh, Baron. Oh, someone is opening chips. I need you to mute your mic, please.
Dehydrated apple.
Oh, there you go. Apple chips. I diagnosed the sound properly. I just did not diagnose what kind of chip properly. Getting everyone. Nute, what is your hit point value when you are normally full health?
Sorry, what is Nute's health?
Yeah, hit points, yeah.
Hit points. 25.
25, thank you, sir. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, nice. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, guys, is once everyone is back, I think we're just waiting on Brent and Dave right now. I keep forgetting about Kitty. I need to involve Kitty in the narrative more often.
Yeah, it probably has much better stealth than I do.
Probably, yeah.
It doesn't say on there, but I'm assuming that they just don't even notice Kitty.
Yep. I'm not worried about Kitty tweaking the things. You know what I'll do, actually, since you guys are here, I'll move you over to our map. I really like this map. I think it's pretty neat looking. So here we go. You guys should have control over all of your tokens. And Ember, I'm going to give you, just give me a sec here. You got 3 temp hit points, so there you go. Remember to take your blue bar off before you start taking from your red. And what I will do is I'll show you what the patrol is going to look like. Okay, here we go. Bop, bop, bop. Boom. Oh, Rowan, fuck. Damn it. God damn it. I put on the fucking map later, which means this is going to be a pain in the ass. Hold on here. Hold on, guys. I dramatically revealed it to the wrong damn place. Token layer. Token layer. Dave and Brent, tell us when you're back. You guys are not back yet. Oops.
Right here.
Okay, cool. So I have moved you guys to the appropriate map here. Let's see here. Move it back, and then I'll move this damn thing up. There we go. Bop, 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 bop. Okay, so this is what the patrol consists of, guys. It's 6 grunts, 1 beastmaster, and then that rage drake. So what I'm going to get you to do is just take a look at this map. You position yourselves wherever you want. What I'm sort of picturing is that the patrol skirts through the hills up here, and then kind of around this tower over here, and through the ruins over here, before making its way out kind of in this corner of the map over here. So that's the general distance that they're going to travel. Why don't you ping for me where you're going to where you want to execute your ambush, and then I'll place the you place your cells, and I'll place the patrol.
I kind of like the. Oh, am I not seeing?
In where, Brent? Sorry, I don't see.
For some reason, I'm not pinging, but I got to click on my the middle one, the rune. See the square runes or the rectangular ones next to where we are?
Down here?
Yes, because if we ambush them, there's a wall. Because the way they're coming, there's a wall sort of in the immediate way for them to retreat, so it sort of hems them in.
Yep.
That's my thoughts, anyway.
What do you guys think?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
So when they're about here, we would attack them.
Why can't I ping?
We just have to make sure that they don't outflank us. That's all.
No, James. When they're inside, move. When they're where, look, yeah, like there, because then the wall will be in their way for ambushing them. So where Halen is right now, if they're somewhere in there, then they can't just turn around and run away.
But where are we going to hide?
And the bushes in front of them, and down here, and in here.
You guys have made you succeeded in the skill challenge, so I will. You're not going to have to make another round of skill checks here to try and stealth against these things. Where I'm going to assume you're going to have the drop on them.
And then James, you can make a wall of fire, right?
No.
You're just taunting them.
No.
No, I thought you did something that made like fire that lasts until the next turn, a zone of fire or something.
Oh, you're thinking of
because you could use that to further hem them in.
Yeah, you're thinking my mountain of flame. Fountain of flame.
Mountain of flame. Woof. That one's done some studying.
I'll wait to use that in the fight.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that where that wall ends, we could even use that to hem them in further. Oh, and I'm assuming, Kev, that wall that we're seeing there of the ruins, is that like impassable terrain? They can't just run through it?
Halen, for someone who's concerned about me making a fire for tea, you want me to make a huge burst of flame that's going to sit for a bit and burn stuff and make much more smoke? Just saying.
Hey, Kev, how tall is this wall where Halen is right now?
It's probably about like 10 to 12 feet tall.
Well, that might hide your flame if it's right close.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Apply to it. Depends.
What was that, Brent? That's where you cut out there.
Oh, James is worried. Like I was saying, you know how there's that long wall and then there's that like very short wall that's only like maybe 5 feet long?
Yep.
I was saying James could use his fountain of flame to make more impassable terrain to hem them in further.
Sure. Okay, so position yourselves, guys. Start moving your tokens around. Go ahead and place them where they're going to be. You know the path that the patrol will follow. Just rolled some Ishtivo here for my bad guys, so we're going to get them in, get that taken care of. Okay.
We all going here. Hanging back a little bit.
So just need are Rakus and Oberon where they want to be?
Well,
I'm coming this way, and we're going to try and hem them in against that wall.
like, what's the plan here, guy? Like, we're just trying to ambush them?
Right,
They
and hem
go
them in
around
so
here,
they
right?
can't run away. Yeah.
Oh, like, which way do they run away?
No. So we put that wall in between them and us. Right. So that on one side is us and the other side is the wall, so they can't flee because they'll run into the wall.
Like,
That's
where you're pinging?
Yes, that's where we want to ambush them. Because if they try to run back from where they came, they have to go around the wall.
Okay, so we want to be hiding. Like over here, maybe one of us.
Okay, the two things I want, or one thing I want to point out is just that Rakus and Ember, remember that your speed is halved right now because of exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Balls.
Indeed.
That's a good place to hide.
Okay. So once everyone is placed where they want to go, what I'll get you guys to do is click on your token and then roll on initiative. We'll get some our initiative order. The surprise will obviously work where you guys will get one full round and then we will go into initiative order. I'll start moving the old group down here.
Initiative. Huh? Wait. What? Where are my tokens? Oh, I thought I was on my token.
This is.
Oh, typical speedy Oberon.
Do.
Put it over. Oh my god. Has Oberon ever rolled a higher than a 10 for initiative?
No way. I don't think so.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heroes. I got the bad guys. I'll get these in order here. All right. Hute, what happened there? My god.
I know. Very annoying.
Balls. All right, guys. So let me move the bad guys into the area here. So what you guys do is everyone is now before I'll start moving these guys. I'm going to assume that everyone is where they want to start. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That looks right to me.
Wait. Yeah.
Okay. So these guys are making their way along. They're sort of chatting to each other in Goblin again.
Gobbies.
Yeah, and you can see the Beastmaster. Did I make a handout for this? I don't think so. No. The Beastmaster is commanding that Rage Drake. If you zoom in, you can see what the Beastmaster and the Rage Drake looks like. The Rage Drake is going to be about here.
Oh,
you guys
my God, he's huge.
Hit your initiative. Yeah, it's about as big as, like I said, it's about as big as a pony. It's a big and scary thing.
Can we tell which guy has the horn?
You can make a perception check at the start of your round, and then we will see how that goes. Okay. And I think, you know what, I will put a couple, yeah, there we go. I'll scrunch them in a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so that is where the patrol is. You guys are all hidden in your various positions. You hear them making their way along. You hear the rattle of their armor, the chatter of their guttural voices in their ugly language. And you hear the hissing of this enormous drake as well that plods along next to this hobgoblin who carries a viciously barbed whip. Clearly, this is an owner who favors the stick to the carrot. So you all sort of, your heart's beating, getting ready to jump in. Halen, why don't you give me a perception check? Let's see if you can spot who has the horn. And I'm going to randomly generate who's got it. Oh, no. You can't tell.
You know what? I'm going to use that hero point that I got back.
Okay, yeah, action point. Yeah.
Well, do we all roll?
No, Halen is just specifically trying to...
Oh, come on.
Jesus.
That was a 2.
Okay, so that's one action point down, and you can't tell who's got the... you can't tell who's got the horn. I know who's got the horn, but...
okay. So Halen's battle cry will be, fuck. And I will charge the Beastmaster.
Okay. So go ahead and move your character. And what are you going to do?
I will open the tides of battle.
Open the gate of battle, I think, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. So go ahead and click on that, and let's see how you do.
I will open the gates of battle.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh, nice. All right, so your sudden movement catches your foe unprepared as you launch into your attack. And that is absolutely a hit.
Does that include the bonus D10?
Which D10?
If the target is undamaged, then it does 3d10 instead of 2d10.
That's what, if you read it, Brent, target takes 1 extra damage if it was at full hit points when you hit with the attack. Yeah, it rolls the D10 for you.
I got a 1 on that last place.
Yeah,
Yay.
so however, 22 points of damage is no fucking joke on this. So you spin around and you leap out, and it's seemingly, once again, from nowhere, Jeez Louise. You know what, Brent? You managed to fucking bloody this thing with 1 hit.
All right, and then I will...
Remember to stay near the mic.
Oh, fuck. And then I use my Fury of Blows to do another... I guess I'll do the same target. I'll do him another 5 points.
Awesome. So you hit him with your... You leap out, and then, wham, you kick him right in the neck with 1 blow, and then you spin around and carry it through with lashing out with your palm and catch him in the throat again, trying to silence him from issuing orders to his Drake. So that's a fucking great opening. Anything else?
Nope, that will be it for me.
Okay, Rakus, you're up next, buddy.
Rakus, well,
let's go.
Free, I think free.
Can I take a perception check as a free action, Kev?
That sounds like something that Halen just whispered to you, and if you guys wanted to do that, you should have done it beforehand.
Alright.
You're also on the other side of a wall, so I'm not sure what you would perceive other than the height of the wall.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
You know what? Hold on. You know what, Dave? I will let you do that because I think that you guys would have understood the importance of getting that guy with the horn, so you all would have been on the lookout for it. So go ahead, and make a roll. I don't like the whispering bullshit, but
I thought that was a plan. We were all to go for the horn.
well, that's why I'm letting him make the roll, Brent. That's why I'm letting him make the roll. Nope. So no,
especially considering that technically Halen could yell that.
Yeah, well, he could, but he doesn't. Yeah, I guess he could have yelled that as he jumped in, but he didn't do that though.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, it was just it was supposed to be me as a player reminding the other players of the plan.
Okay. So Rakus, you leap out. You can't tell who's got the horn either. But what do you want to do? You got this huge Dracoform standing before you that turns and snarls at you.
Yeah. Rakus steps out, lets out like a massive war cry.
Yep.
And hits it with a goring charge.
Stealth is out the window, and you guys were worried about a fire.
Fire Schmeier.
Okay, so now hold on, Dave. You're not going to be able to get a charge off because you moved only 1 square. You need to move at least 2 squares in order to get a charge. Like 2 squares directly towards it. You need the momentum. No, you can't do that. It's got to be direct, all movement straight towards the target. That also would leave you open for an attack of opportunity if you moved like that.
Like, can I move into? I can actually move into a square.
You cannot. No.
No.
You're not going to be able to get a goring charge off with this attack, unfortunately.
You would have to do this.
Then he's down to 3 squares of movement, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
You'd have to go down, around, and up as you charge.
Yeah. But I've only got 3.
You know, Dave, technically you could have done it. You could have done 3.
I wouldn't get that. No,
sorry, guys, you're lagging out there.
Yeah, okay, then I'll do that then, and we'll hit with a
cool.
goring charge.
Yep, that works.
I will take my minor to put up my defender aura.
Okay.
And then go with a goring charge.
Okay, so go ahead and roll for your goring charge. And let me see here. It's in here, I believe. I get this wrong every fucking time. Let's see if I can get it right this time. Oh, I got it wrong again. God damn it. Okay, everyone can see Rakis' aura, right?
I can.
Yep.
Yep, okay, great. Okay, so yeah, you go running around the corner, and even as exhausted as you are, you're never too tired to charge. So you go racing in, and you hammer, you slam your horns into this thing, and it takes... Okay, it's bigger than you, so it does get a save to try and stay upright, and it does, unfortunately, shit. So you hit this thing, but it skitters back, and I guess all because of the 4 feet, it is not knocked prone. And hitting this thing, man, this thing is fucking tough. It's all muscle and scales and teeth. All right, so you is that it for Rakis this turn?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Okay, Bear, what are you doing? Amber?
Oh.
Yeah,
Your turn.
You want to make a perception check? See if you can spot the guy with the horn?
Sure. I won't move yet. Survey says...
Holy crap! No, no, you cannot spot the guy with the horn.
All right. Well, let's just...
You spotted
burn
the
him.
horn on the hobgoblin's monster.
Yeah, the wrong one.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going here.
4 failures in a row.
Okay, now James, that's all difficult terrain. Do you have enough movement to get there?
Oh, is it all difficult?
Yeah. Anything that's got what do you call it? Like a hole on it, or a bush in or whatnot. That's all difficult terrain. So.
Oh.
All right. Shit. Okay. There.
Okay.
I'm just going to do then a scorching burst right here.
Right in the middle. Oh, you don't have line of sight to that. There's a wall in the way.
Oh shit! There is.
Yeah. You could hit for one of these two things over here. One of those two guys.
Well, if you stood behind Halen, then you probably have a line of sight.
One.
Not to that square, you wouldn't. No.
2. What if I did this?
Yeah, you could do that. Then you'd hit. Actually, you hit fucking almost all of them.
Just these two. I wouldn't. Okay, we're gonna do that.
Okay. So let's start. First roll will be for the. I'm gonna start with a Rage Drake and then go around clockwise.
Sounds good.
So Rage Drake, 21. Yeah, that hits for. So you're doing 11 fire damage to anything that's hit. One sec here. You do math, which is making my face screw up. Okay. Next is the Hobby there. 13. I don't think is actually good enough. Oh no, 13 is just enough. Nice one. Okay.
Sweet.
So it doesn't see, sort of like turns its head just in time to see this explosion of flame that leaves it bloodied and dead on the floor. Next one, in the middle, the one just north of the beast trainer.
Have I hit the beast trainer yet?
Nope.
Okay.
18. Yeah, another one gone. Then the other Hobby on top. He's gone as well. Jesus. One on the bottom. Bless you. He gets his shield up in time and is not hit. And then the beast trainer. 25. Nice one. He takes 11 as well. So that's holy shit. So between the two strikes and then that explosion of flame behind him, this guy's almost down.
Okay. I'm also going to add this to the beast trainer.
Ooh, nice. Takes 6 additional fire and takes -2 attacks to hit you. Okay, that's wow. So he is almost dead, guys. The flames explode out, and then almost like as if they're a living thing, they continue to sort of like swirl and lick and climb over the back of the beast tamer or the beast hobgoblin beastmaster. All right, wow. So that was pretty badass. Is that it for Ember?
That is it for Ember.
New Tay, what are you doing?
New Tay. Well, let's see here. Maybe I will. Oh.
Would you like to make a perception check to try and see who?
Yes. Yes.
Nobody knows who's fucking born.
Yes. And perception coming up.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
You cannot see the hobgoblins that you can see do not have the horn.
Woo!
James killed him. Nice.
Check line of sight, guys. There's one hobgoblin that two that he cannot see.
Oh. That's a pretty useless roll.
Okay, New Tay, what are you gonna do now then?
Well, then maybe I will do tactical trick and go 1. Tactical trick allows me to move through opponents
Okay, why don't you
without
click
provoking
on it?
opportunity attacks.
Click on it and see what she says.
Here.
Well, click on it right now. It lets him do whatever he wants.
Yeah, Steve, click on your power. Remember, anytime we use powers. All right, tactical trick. Leaving squares to your allies. Yeah, that does not say at all what you think it says, Steve. You may move up to your speed, and you do not provoke attacks or opportunities when leaving squares adjacent to your allies.
Oh.
Until the end of your turn, you have combat advantage against enemies that have at least one of your allies adjacent to them. You may be thinking of one of your other powers. I don't remember.
Okay, I was here, so maybe darn it.
Well, you could just move up and hack through some hobgoblins.
Yeah, just start cutting them down.
Right. How do I get around? How much? I got a movement of 7.
Yep. Where are you trying to get to? Well, remember those grunts need to go down as well, right?
They do.
Well, then one of them is probably got this horn that we were looking for.
Right. Right. Let's see. So I can't move there because there's a wall there, right?
You can move there, but you just can't attack them then.
Okay.
If you go 1 to your right, you can get around the wall.
There.
Yep.
I want to get around behind them. And just attack that guy in the corner.
Yeah. Or you could, I don't know if you have any multi-attacks. You can move up 1 and get 2 if you can do that.
Wish I did. Because I kind of want to. Okay, I guess I don't have much choice. What if I?
I mean, that's good. And if one tries to flee, you're on a good line of sight to take it out.
You've got enough movement, Steve, that you could have like kind of wound your way around, and then you could get up to this square here if you want. And then, like Brent says, if either of them tries to just run, you get an attack of opportunity on them.
4, 5. I could go there. There we go.
Yep, absolutely. So seemingly, once again, it's 2 elves that seem to have come out of nowhere.
Probably should have rolled your perception now.
I will let you have done that.
Seriously?
And it is right here. That is the hobgoblin as the horn. And that was randomly rolled too, guys. I stuck with whichever one I rolled. I didn't want to have DM bullshittery and be like, oh, it happens to be the last one.
You.
And it was the one I missed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
All right, well, I will attack the guy.
It's up to Oberon.
Okay.
What? I'm a big
It's up
fat
to Oberon.
minotaur. I'm supposed to move from where I am to that dude right there in 1 round.
Yes, you can do it.
You're the last person that stopped the horn.
Well, remember, guys, you do have.
I also haven't seen it.
You have one more round of you had like a surprise. There's still everyone goes through their normal initiative order. Okay, so sorry, Steve, are you gonna make an attack as well?
Yeah, I'm going to attack this guy.
Give him shit.
All right. And which attack am I going to use? That's the question. I guess a basic short sword attack, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right, because I'm
They're
balancing.
not active, so you have +2 to hit. You got combat advantage against them, Steve.
Okay. Combat advantage +2. Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, fuck me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not so 13. Man, these guys, they've got armor on their armor on their armor apparently, and your sword just cannot get through it.
Oh, what about if I use backstab,
which gives +3?
Free action +3, yep, and 1d6 extra damage.
Right, so that would be a 16 in total, which is still not good enough.
What?
Yeah, these hobgoblins, especially when they're adjacent like that, are a huge pain in the ass. They march in phalanx tactics. Now, do you have any action points left?
I do have action points left.
You could spend one to re-roll.
Whew, man, yeah.
Or do you just want to try better next round?
How many action points do I have?
I don't know. You should say on your character sheet.
Okay.
You started with 1, and then you gained a couple last session as well. But I think you might have spent some as well. So I honestly don't know.
Right. Okay. Let's re-roll this. Let's do it.
So mark off the action point.
Kev?
Yep.
Rakus will give Nute an action point.
Can't do that.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Where are the action points listed there? Is it those
three boxes? Fuck it. Yeah, you can do that, Rakus. That's fine.
Where are the action points listed? There we go.
It's on the main page. Yeah,
it's on the main page. And that's fine. Rakus is giving you 1.
Oh.
You can give inspiration. Yeah, you can give inspiration in 5th edition, so I don't see why you couldn't share action points in this.
Inspiration.
So you've got. So you go ahead and make your attack roll there again. Hey, that is definitely more like it.
Boom.
Holy shit. So with combat advantage, you would have done 22 points of damage. But this sucker is a minion. Boom, down in 1.
All right.
So he is gone. All right. Then next up is Oberon.
Okay. Oberon steps into the TARDIS. He teleports over by the guy with the horn. He steps out of the TARDIS. He draws his axe of horn smashing, and he obliterates the horn.
Yeah.
Okay, for real, he steps this way, and then he moves over here with his move.
Yep.
And then from there, he uses his standard action to charge at the beast.
Charge. Nice. Let's see. Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Gorin
you can go ahead and
boom! Hey!
Definitely good enough. And he knocks prone. Let me make a save for it. Hey, that is better. So the thing is, while the after the first hit, it dug its legs in from Rakus. You slam into this thing, and it's that flanking maneuver worked very, very well. And you knock it on its side. So it is prone now, which means Rakus, you can do shit tons of damage.
Oh, man, we haven't even done this yet once.
Okay, now actually in Oberon, if you so chose, you could spend an action point and attack again.
Hell yeah.
+2 to hit because it's prone, and +5 damage because of your feet.
And seeing as I have an action point, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Just a 0?
Yeah,
and this will actually help. Excuse me. This will actually help Rakus.
Nice.
On his next turn, because I'm going to use my new Part the Fog.
Yes.
Boom.
Oh, and 22 versus AC. That's amazing. Oh, shit. And Jeff, we talked about this before we went live, too, about your things. Didn't you tell me you were going to spend some augment on this as well?
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry, I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I will use augment 2. Sure.
Yeah. So the next, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Because if they miss, it's effectively a free reroll on their attack roll if they miss.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge. Awesome. So you go charging in. You knock this thing down, and
so wait, is that 9 there extra damage? Why is there a 9 on the damage on that?
Because that's the damage roll.
Oh, so instead of 14, it does 9?
D12. 1 plus nothing. Oh, that is not right. Oh, hold on. Plus.
Like, because at the top there it says 14.
Yeah, because it rolls differently for each of them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it does only do 9 points of damage. No, plus 5 from your feet. So it takes 14.
Oh, right.
Right? 14 points of damage. So that's wow. This thing's bloodied, guys. What I think happens, Jeff, is you go charging in, you smash this thing down, and after the weird emotional state that the townsfolk were in and the miserable nature or the miserable sort of feeling that you guys have had through these days of miserable travel through this godforsaken fucking foothills wilderness, you finally get to find your spirit again and your brother's spirit in battle. And you're just riding this emotional wave. You knock this thing down, and then you can't help it yourself but and bring your axe down on it. And you have completely energized the next ally to attack this thing. Whoever does is going to be carried forward with your euphoric wave and get a massive bonus to hit. So
it's almost a blood rush.
Yeah. Okay, so it's purple is prone. Whoopsies, wrong fucking thing. All right. So outstanding first round, guys. Jeez. Next up is Halen Windspeaker. What are you doing?
I will attack the dude with the horn.
You can't see it. And here's the thing, guys. I don't want you guys to metagame this much because Nute did not call out that he saw the horn. So your character does not know that.
Sorry, I just assumed he did. My bad.
No, I don't want, again, like, I want this, because this is such a tactical game, I think it's important that we keep the narrative focus as well, too. So try to remember that what your character knows is different from what you know. Okay? Okay, so...
Yeah, okay, I just assumed that he would have called that out,
but he didn't.
That was important.
Technically, you could attempt to make another perception check.
Yeah, Brent could make a perception check. I'm going to give -2 to it just because of the angle. So go ahead, Brent.
Rock and roll, Brent.
Nope.
Perfect.
Okay.
I will
question, guys. Just this. Here's an example of where this proper role playing and having focus on the narrative thing would provide benefit here. If you had role play that your character yells out, "The horn! Where's the horn?" That may have provided enough reminder for one of the other players to shout out that they know where it is.
Right. But I have some other narrative. My axe blow went so deep into the beast that the blood spray went onto Halen's face, and he couldn't perceive through. He was too busy wiping the blood off his brow to see the horn.
Okay, so Halen, what else are you doing this round?
I'm gonna attack the Beastmaster.
Okay, so
I will do so with Fallen Needle.
Okay. Go ahead and click on that. Let's see what it sounds like. A single sharp blow. Okay, so this guy's gotten blown forward from the last round from Ember's fire magics. And 17 reflexes is good enough. Nice. So, what is it? What do you think this one looks like, Brent? A single sharp blow.
This is with my spear. I skewer him. It goes... I've softened up his neck with a couple blows the last round, and this time the spear goes through it.
Okay, so he's through in like a with like uncanny grace and precision. Your spear ducks in and out, and this guy is suddenly on his knees and watching his black Icarus lifeblood pour out because he's dead. Okay,
cool.
So
I'll use Fury of Blows on the hobgoblin next to me.
Can't because the wall's in the way. Remember that diagonals in 4th edition count as blocking.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah, but Brent, your movement technique from that one is as a minor action you can shift one square. So you could use
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah, sure. Actually, that's perfect because then I'm in a better position for the beast too. Okay, cool. So then I'll take the hobgoblin out next to me so I'm not flanked.
Okay, again, but you're getting away from the mic.
Sorry, I'm going to take the hobgoblin out for me next, so I don't get flanked. He just takes 5 points.
Okay, so you step forward and you smash this guy, and then as he collapses to the ground, you notice the horn on his belt, and you go, "Huh."
Yay! Hey, I did good. I took out the beast master and the horn dude.
You got it, and you just
That was the
granted.
plan. I stick to the plan.
Nice work.
You granted flanking CA to Oberon now too. I mean, the thing's prone already as it is, but yeah, so that's great. Excellent round. Rakus, you're up next.
Maracus will hit the Rage Drake with Frenzied Flare.
Awesome. Oh, Dave, I would read that if that's the one I'm thinking of. Remember, that's a minor after you hit with an attack. It's a triggered action.
Yeah.
Do a savage cut to it.
No, you could just use one of your other attacks and then follow up with a minor using your Frenzy Flare.
Yeah, I'll go with a Savage Cut then.
Okay, so go ahead and click on that. You got +2 because of holy shit. So you nail that fucking thing, and you also do 5 extra damage because of your feet because it's prone. So less than 24 points of damage. Yeah, this thing it hisses out in pain from your titanic strike. If you want to follow up with that Frenzied Flare.
Oh, is it still alive?
It's still alive. Oh, yeah, this thing's really tough.
Okay.
Yeah, so remember, requirement there is you must have hit with... Okay, so that's Ball's attack, unfortunately. 11, even with a +2, is still not enough to get through this thing's scaly armor. So it's still like swirling around or squirming around on the ground, and your strike sort of cuts off of its armor and sinks into the earth. Anything else you wish to do?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, so then it is the Rage Drake's turn. So this thing spends its move action squirming and getting its feet back underneath itself. And as per its name, it's not going to try and run away. It's just pissed. And it can't charge. So really, by hemming it in, guys, you've done a really good job of preventing it from making most effective use of its ability. So nicely done. Okay, so I think you're the one who hurt it the most there, Rakus, so it's going to go at you. And it's bloodied, so it's raging. So let's see here. It does hit. Surges forward, and its massive head, and this thing's head is about the size of it's about, like I said, it's about the same size as a pony. So imagine a pony's head made of all ivory white teeth. And this thing chomps down on you, and you take actually not much, 11 points of damage. And I'll let the Hobbygobbies are going to go after Nute. Once again, I killed off the token that had the initiative tracker on it. So that's it for the Rage Drake. Amber, you're up next. What are you doing? James, wake up. James.
I'm awake.
Now you are. It's Amber's turn. What are you doing?
I am Darkening Flame the Rage Drake.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to shift back one just so I don't get hit.
Okay. I think that's not difficult terrain, right? Just double check here so see there's nothing in there, right? Yeah, you're okay.
Whoa.
I was just shifted back. Sure you weren't shifting into difficult terrain because you couldn't do that. Okay, so that is good enough. You toss a blazing sphere of shadow infused with fire against your enemies. Where it detonates, it blackens flesh and soul. Okay, so that does 14 points of damage. Oh gosh, almost enough to. This thing is nearly fucking dead. It's limply hanging to the side. It's bloodied and cut and battered and gored and burned. Oh, did you read the effect of that, James?
Yeah.
So,
Seriously?
Halen
takes-
and Rakus and Oberon and Kitty each take 5 points of fire damage.
I was close to coming up to this counter undamaged.
I think you both you almost killed that and you bloodied Rakus.
Ooh. I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, Oberon, Kitty, and Halen and Rakus all took 5 points of damage
Oh,
from
yeah.
friendly fire.
Don't put it on the character sheet. Put it on the token.
Yes, please. Okay, and then Nute, you were up. What are you doing, buddy?
All right, Nute is gonna take him out.
Okay.
And I think he still hasn't moved yet. This guy, right?
No, he has not. It hasn't been his action, so you still get combat advantage against him.
Still get combat advantage. All right.
Although I do get
And I will nail him.
Here we go.
Like, I don't have to spend a healing to use the session.
Ooh, that is a hit.
Nice.
Okay, so Steve, why don't you describe for me how he dies?
So with my gleaming magical short sword, he's barely had time to turn around just as I stick it into the side of his neck.
Love
and
it.
Twist it out.
Wow. Okay, so he is dead. Okay, so then next up is Oberon. What are you doing?
I guess I will attack the beast.
Okay.
I'll just use part the fog again. Oh wow, nice roll.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Okay, so then that is and this thing was so heavily damaged that you. I want you to give us a quick description of how you kill this thing.
I think he's just like, in a bit of a blood frenzy from that opening attack, and it's just a mighty blow with his axe right across the spine of its back after it had turned to attack my brother.
Yep. Okay. So you shatter it and it falls down dead. So, do a quick search and it looks like you've taken out the entire patrol. Unfortunately, some of you guys are a little banged up thanks to Ember's friendly fire. So, just to take advantage of the mechanics, Oberon, it may be best to spam your 2 encounter heals onto Rakus and then take a short rest.
Yeah.
I think you're only down by 5. Halen's only down by 5. So using the powers on either of you is no better than just spending a healing surge during a short rest.
Okay.
Whereas Rakus is pretty fucked
Nice.
up. Okay, so Rakus, you're gaining the benefit of 2 healing surges plus 9 hit points.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming, so make sure you mark down those 2 healing surges from your total per day. And then I'm going to guess that Halen and Oberon want to spend a healing surge each to recover their damage too.
Yeah, for some reason I got damaged from something.
Did you know that was going to happen, James, or did you look afterwards?
I looked afterwards.
No comment.
Ember is that exhausted.
Yeah, she is really quite banged up. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna just adjust. Dave, are you back up to full hit points now?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you're total. Yeah, you're back up to 30. Guys, adjust your tokens. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to place you on the new map. And then it's just past midnight Winnipeg time. It's past 11 here. So maybe we'll place our characters. We've already had our party mage almost fall asleep twice tonight. So We'll just place
Sorry.
you guys so you can see what you're in for the next session. And then we will call it a session. So, okay, everyone's all healed up. Oh, except for
Yeah,
Oberon.
can I, during the short rest, may I grab a tooth out of the Drake as a souvenir?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then you guys, all of your encounter abilities are recovered, including your psi points, Oberon. So let me just move you guys up. So I got everyone together here. Here we go. All right. So you, where do you guys place the bodies, by the way?
I believe there's a body of water nearby.
There is, yeah.
We throw their weapons
I
in
don't
the
know
river.
about the Rage Drake. That might be a bitch to.
You know what? Arrakis will start helping out by cutting up the Rage Drake.
Of course he does.
Actually, he'll take the skull as a trophy.
Would you guys kindly give me perception checks, please?
Oh, here we go.
That's a good one.
Very good at.
Oh, nat 20.
Nice.
Amber pulls it out of the fire. All right. So as you guys sneak over, so you dispose of these bodies. Halen's in nat 1.
I'm balancing out for Ember. There's gonna be.
Yeah, seriously, we're really
I'm bringing balance to the force.
We're seeing the full gamut of probabilities here tonight. Nute did pretty well too. Okay, so but the nat 20 is the highest, so because a nat 20 always beats everything else. So you, Ember and Nute, you hear this. Rakis, you hear this as well. As you guys are making your way over to the crypts. Now, what's evident is that there was at one point more to the structure that surrounds these stairs that lead down into the crypts, but they were probably destroyed centuries ago when the Rivenroar estate was razed to the ground by the goblin hordes and the vengeful nobles from the kingdom of Restalor. But you guys get there and you can see these darkened stairs going down, but there are not along the flight of the stairs, but at the bottom you can see there is a flickering of light, and you can hear those same guttural voices talking to each other in a language you do not understand. What is your plan for going down these stairs? Are you going to try and be stealthy, or are you just going to try and, like, you know, kick the door in and get the fuck down there and try and do overwhelming force rather than excuse me, stealth and finesse?
What if we go in culty and try and mimic their voices? Or chanting.
It would be the equivalent of, like, saying Durka Durka to, you know,
Street.
yeah.
Or
Hey, I'm
I
not against that.
Yeah, I like the stealthy idea. I think, you know, sneak in and stab them in the back, and then see what's what.
It is a fantastically racist plan, but well, your language sounds like gibberish to me, so it must be gibberish, right? Okay, so if you want to try stealth, then whoever would like to stealth down, not everybody necessarily, whoever wants to stealth down, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
I feel my rolls are on the upswing.
You feel your rolls are an upswing there, Amber? Okay, so we got Halen and Nute. Let's see.
I'm not tempting the dice gods.
No. All right, so I'm just checking their passive perception here, guys. Excuse me. All right. That is a success, I believe, by both of you guys. Yeah. Okay. So,
Nice.
what I'm going to do is I want to place just everyone's token on the. I can't remember if I put up dynamic lighting on here yet or not. You guys can't see shit, can you?
No, I totally can't see the sharpshooters at the back.
Oh, you can't see it. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. So that's what you see. I'm going to put you two guys. You can see where your tokens are, right?
I can only see the old map.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, guys. How How the fuck can you see the sharpshooters, Brent? Are you watching the stream?
Oh, because we have the. I'm looking at the screen with my microphone on. That's why.
Okay.
Oh, he's looking at the Hangouts.
Yeah.
Fucking whispering throughout the session. You're Brent. The wrath of a DM who feels wronged is a fucking unholy
Well, the
thing
problem
to
is my
see.
microphone that I have to talk directly into is on the computer with the
Your
visual.
Yeah, your collective Christmas present to Dave and you is showing up between now and the next session, so that should remedy things.
And I think the problem is it's not my connection with Laura's computer. It's her mic. I had to plug in a second set of speakers.
Yeah.
And you guys were fading in and out till I plugged in external speakers, and you guys have been fine.
Yeah.
But it must be not just her speakers; it must be also her mic.
Yeah.
Because then if I look towards my computer to do something, then you can't hear me.
No, and that's like I'm not trying to be difficult. It's just that you genuinely sound like Charlie Brown's parents as soon as you get far enough away from the mic.
Well, we have this awesome thing where my tablet doesn't have a plug for an Ethernet cord. His computer has a plug, but it's a work computer, so then he can't use Hangouts. That leaves Laura's computer, which has a plug and can use Hangouts, but the speakers don't seem to work so well.
I love the kludge together resolution.
So,
okay, so
between three computers, we've got it half-assed together.
Are you guys able to see now what?
No, now that was much better.
I just see black.
You see black. How about Nute and Halen? Can you guys see what's in that room?
No, I'm getting black, even with my night vision.
One sec here. Let me.
Black.
Ooh, exciting! Let me quickly set up the illumination. Here we go. Okay. Oh, that actually should show you. You should be able to see. Oh, you know what? Ha ha ha! Watch this. You know what it is because this is the one thing about Roll20 that is really weird. I'm sure there must be a reason why they set this shit up this way, but you have to actually toggle the token to have sight. At default, so tell me this. Nute, can you see now? Devo? Oh, Brent, you have sight. You should be able to see.
Nope, it's all coming up black.
Weird. When I use Google, I could see.
Oh no, because the Google is because you're seeing my screen. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold up here. I'm just checking my page saves of personal sites. Tab light enabled. Let's see here. How about now, guys? Can you see?
Nope.
Yeah.
Can you?
I can.
Yeah, I can. Okay. So I got they've set up one neat thing that they have done is their advanced fog of war feature is pretty fucking cool. So here's what I'm gonna do. No one look at the stream. Nute and Halen, describe for the guys because you're able to sneak back up. Describe for them what's down there.
Good. Two hobgoblins with. Hang on, I'm gonna zoom in.
Oh, you're facing away from the mic.
Two hobgoblins with I can't tell what kind of weapons, and two guys in the back with which looks like.
The hobgoblins are wielding. Oh, 1 second here. I believe they're wielding flails, actually. Yes, they each have flails, and then there are those goblins are equipped with small crossbows and swords.
And from what we can tell, there's doors at the far end, and one set of light, or one light. I think that's what that is. Like a brazier or something?
Yeah, each of those is a brazier. So that's what. And it seems like the two hobgoblins are kind of talking to each other, and the goblins are sort of keeping to themselves. So how do you guys want to approach this?
I say we just charge in at this point. Now let me know there's 4 of them there.
Okay. What does the rest of the group think?
Let the 2 Minotaurs just charge right into those 2 soldiers. Well, I mean, we're not going to talk our way through it.
Rakus is also charging in, so.
Okay. Here, I'll even pull aside so the 2 Minotaurs could charge in.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually leave your tokens there because I'm going to place everybody else. Assuming that the Minotaurs are going to be up front here. Boom. Jeff, can you see the map now?
Yep.
And Rakus, Dave, can you see the map now? Dave?
Sorry, I said yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. And James, can you see the map now?
Here we go.
Okay. So this is where we will be picking up. You guys are charging down the stairs. We will roll initiative next session. And we'll start seeing what the hell is in the crypts of Rivenroar. So let me get the hell out of... oh, and guys, sorry, forgive me. You all get another... record this. You all get another action point. Because we had 1 encounter on the road plus 1 encounter here. So another action point. It's a milestone. Another action point. All right. So I'm going to get out of...
Thanks for the action point, by the way.
Oh, yeah, to Dave.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
Now, what would have my stealth check have been?
What would it have been?
20.
20.
Of course it would have. Oh, that's terrific. All right. So for those listening at home, that has been session 6 of our Scales of War campaign. First off, we hope you enjoyed. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session tonight, if there are rules I fucked up, or if you have questions about our custom rules we're using, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to respond in a timely fashion. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us for this, and we will see you again in 2 weeks' time.